Welcome to Around the Mage Table. This is episode 81 of the podcast for the rest of us. Hello, everyone. How are you doing today? I'm going to start with Ioski, who wants to give a special shout out. How are you doing, Ioski?
Hi, I'm doing good. Yeah, I want to give a shout out to on Twitter. It's at the Knitted Wow. Their name I believe is I'm gonna butcher it, but it's like Emmeline, I think.
We sat here for 30 minutes before we got started. You did not want to look up how to say that.
Shut up. I had to clean up a mess. My sister's cats caused a ruckus when I was in the bathroom for 30 seconds. But she had commissions opened recently for a crocheting something from WoW, so I asked her if she could do Bella Ren, and not only did she do it after having never even seen this character before, because I guess she hasn't played super recently, but I'd say she knocked it out of the park. She did a great job. So I just wanted to give her a shout out. Follow her on Twitter at the Knitted Wow. If she ever has commissions open, highly recommended. She's very communicative. She'll give you updates, and she'll have it done in like a week and a half, and you'll be like, "Holy crap, that was so fast!"
Yeah, you were sending updates to us. Every time she sent you one, that's awesome.
Yeah, I bought some stuff from her in the past too. This is the first time I had her made something specific for me, so it was very, very good experience. So shout outs. Good job.
5 stars.
As someone who like crochets, her work is really impressive.
We've seen your work, Scrap, and
yeah. No, I do like really basic, simple stuff. Like her stuff is like crazy advanced.
All right. Well, to the second best crocheter of WoW stuff I've ever seen, Scrap, how you doing?
I'm doing really good. Just chilling.
Chilling. Well, I feel like this past week we haven't been chilling with MDI, but we'll get into that later. Lythian, how are you doing?
I'm exhausted. I got beat up a lot on that MDI stuff, so you know.
Actually, I feel like again we'll get into it later, but I feel like other than the one pull we were trying to finesse, it wasn't that bad for you, was it?
No, he's talking about beat up emotionally and mentally.
Oh no, yeah,
well, not like physically.
That'll happen.
Definitely. Shout out to Lythian for keeping his cool, because this guy absolutely could have lost it at any minute. He had 2 other DPS, not me, asking him for these specific convoluted ways so they could get the most out of their abilities. He had Frank yelling at him to go faster, and
well,
I don't know.
I tried to hold myself back. I agree, because I definitely should have held myself back more.
No, the problem was Haywire, really. I tell you, that guy.
Really?
If you move
If
you move an inch,
he said that maybe like 3 times.
Totem.
Scrap died 3 times in a single dungeon from her buffoonery. What do you like?
Hey, we timed that one though. Like we didn't stop that one.
I really wish I had the time right now to do a supercut of all her whenever she like did something she wasn't supposed.
Oh yeah,
which by the way, every single time it was us saying, "Do not do that, Scrap."
Look, you think those guys who do an 11-minute sky reach that they're not trying to get every little tiny bit of DPS out of their character?
Yeah, we're not.
But you have to advocate for yourself, you know.
I agree with you, but I bet you it happens in a much more interesting and constructive way than how we do it, which is a lot more chaotic.
Bark at it, like just like, hey, like it right when you pull that mob, I have a collapsing star that's going to happen, and so you need to plan accordingly.
The issue is, it's not like you're testing the waters. You know what's going to happen, and it happens over and over again.
No, I'm jumping in the water and screaming, "Lifeguard, lifeguard, lifeguard!"
If it were to use your water analogy, if it were synchronized swimming, again, 40% of the time, the coach would blow the whistle and go, "What the fuck are you doing? That's not even close."
Like I said, I had to advocate for myself. I'm like, this is what I'm gonna put me first.
She does she does pop off though when it does work out, so that's I guess a benefit.
It's a very pool dependent class. Like it's like, you know, and I understand that that's a thing that a lot of people are used to, but like I never played a really like situationally dependent class, and so I need to make sure the situation's right for me to get in the water.
This is the reason why
big deeps.
This is the reason why I'm not giving you any grace, because when I was playing Arcane and it mattered so much that I kind of had that like perfect time to ramp things, you would be the first person to tell me I'm an asshole, right?
Yeah, and now I'm paying for it, because now I'm paying a horrible.
Look,
now I get it.
This is your curse.
It is.
This is your curse forever. Always, and then my curse is I'm not getting gear because you gave me the pants curse set, a year ago.
Yeah.
All right, are you guys ready to jump in? We got 12.0.5 coming out. What will be tomorrow when this airs?
A couple days,
Yep. And we also kind of skipped over some topics last week, so let's jump straight into it.
Prison mic glass.
It is a prison mic glass.
Oh, my friend James would love that. His respect for you probably just grew just a teeny bit.
I got it for Darren for I don't remember something because
I bet
Darren
you
loves The Office.
It would grow even more if he sent us those goddamn stickers.
Oh fuck! I forgot about those. Hey, you know what? I have them. They're right here.
Jessica,
I'll show an address, but I have all of them. I haven't mailed the last batch.
By the way, y'all, if you ever want stickers from the show, just join our Discord, our community, and Scrap will once a quarter shout at literally everyone.
Sometimes I like, I shout at everyone, I get the addresses and I send it the next day, and sometimes they sit there until I remember to take them to the post office. Yeah.
I finally got mine. My daughters took them all and literally stuck them to my screen. I had actually cleaned my screen because they just put it on my monitor.
Well, I'm soft planning that at BlizzCon, I want to have like a lot of stickers to hand out. So like if you see us, if you recognize us, we're going to be wearing jerseys probably, right, Frank? We're going to have jerseys on, matching jerseys.
They're really in on the jersey idea. I'm skeptical, but we'll see.
Dude, there's 3 days. We can wear jerseys one day. It's fine. You'll be able to spot us probably. I will give you stickers.
Jersey, I ask you, what's the problem?
What day are we doing? The jersey. What day are we doing tarps off?
We're not doing tarps off.
Okay, never mind.
No day.
For those who don't know, tarps off is where you pop your shirt off. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Let's jump into it. We didn't talk about this last week because none of us had done it. I have done it now. I think Lythian, you said you've done it. I ask you, have you done the end of the campaign?
I have not done the end of the campaign. Can I ask you a quick question though?
Sure.
What's your time at? Because I didn't actually start the timer. I just noticed.
It's 7 minutes 15 seconds for the actual recording. That is not the timestamp on YouTube though. For those of you at home.
Yeah.
Just a little peek behind the curtains there. All right.
Write a timestamp for IO checks timestamp.
Yeah. So I'm gonna make a 5-second chapter.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
You have one job.
And by the way, that's coming from someone who has 0 jobs.
Yeah.
What?
Oh no, you build the website. All right.
I have 0 jobs.
Yeah, Scrap has 0 jobs.
Okay.
Yep.
Now that we're back on the rails, we had the end of the campaign for season 1 of Midnight. This was predicted to happen, albeit when someone wrote a Twitter or Reddit post or whatever about it, they made it sound a little more Disney-fied than it actually is. But the long and short of it, Scrap, spoiler. It's been out for 2 weeks. The elves come together and purify the dark well into the dawn well, where dawn, where the light and the dark meet, blah, 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 feel goods.
Wait.
You said wait?
That's it. No, I said quite.
Oh, quite. Now there were some interesting things that happened as like the stay a while and listens. Mostly, like they're acknowledging that they think the Radiant Song was speaking to them when they were praying at the start of the expansion during the cinematic, as an example. Ramith and Umbric decide that they think the monstrosities, as they say, were traveling through the dark well, which again we did talk about, but it only has been confirmed now. And then Anduin says that he feels the light has returned, but he's not ready to be king still. Okay. But he can't bring himself to abdicate the throne. Whatever. So the reason why I wanted to bring this up, though. Sorry?
Isn't that the plot of Lord of the Rings? Isn't that why there's a Return of the King or something?
I don't remember the plot well enough to say with certainty, but that sounds.
You're such a nerd.
I don't really either, but that's just what I'm reminding you of. Keep going.
What do you mean?
I want everyone to remember when Lythian said you're such a nerd, there will be a point where we bring that up again later. Okay. So why do I want to talk about this? I want to talk about this because now this is with Dragonflight and the dragons, with the goblins in the Goblin Zone and Undermine, and with this, and I'm sure there are other examples in recent memory, even like with not Teldrassil, what's the new tree?
Amirdrassil?
Amirdrassil, sorry. I don't know what else could be. Amirdrassil. Like, all these people are coming together and settling all their differences. We now have the elves coming together and settling their differences. Umbric and whatever the other guy's name is. What's his name?
Which one?
Ramith and Umbric are BFFs now. They're kind of like ribbing each other, like, hey, we love each other now. They have settled the dispute between what happened in Dalaran, where they expelled the Blood Elves. What was their faction? I can't remember. Again, there's an explanation.
Kirin Tor?
No,
the Scryers?
Not the Scryers. It was
Gosh, we really know our lore.
No, it was Varisa and Aethys Sunstrider officially declared peace between the Silver Covenant and the Sun Reavers, which again they were expelled. I think Jaina was part of the reason why they were expelled too. She was mad about X, Y, and Z.
Oh, that's why in Dalaran you have to have the 2 different spots, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they kiss and make up. The Night Elves are like, look, we just gotta help out because that's the right thing to do. And then of course, Thalysra or whatever her name is, still married, so she's gonna obviously help out. But are we getting a little ad nauseum around this idea that everyone's coming together and settling their differences? Where is the war in Warcraft? I just wanted to open it up and see if you guys have any thoughts. If not, we'll move on. Who cares? But I'll start with Scrap because she usually has an opinion.
I mean, is this gonna mean the guards in Silvermoon are gonna stop like talking shit to me when I walk by?
I would hope, irrelevant of the Horde versus Alliance or whatever, I would hope that they would just stop doing it, as you're gonna just literally point over your shoulder and say like, dude,
I'm the guy.
We did this for you, But who knows?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not a big elf person, so I don't have a strong stake in any of these like storylines. Like, whatever. They can come together, that's fine.
No, but like even outside the elf, like everyone is all like resolving their issues. Is that a problem?
Yeah, I think it's a bit like boring.
Yeah.
And not surprising, very predictable.
It's the same thing at the end of every one of these seasons where they have to close all these loose ends and bring everybody together because you can't leave on people being upset with each other or something. I don't know. It's weird. It feels like
absolutely could though. Like why?
Why not? I know you could. And you probably should because it'd be different. it'd be something new. But I feel like they just never do. And then they kind of cap it off so that they can lead in with a different story or a different conflict or a different issue instead of dragging some of the same ones through multiple seasons. I don't know.
Yeah.
It just seems repetitive to me. And that's why I'm like, oh, I did it, but I'm not going to get into the lore or anything because it's the same story over and over.
Like with the goblins, and maybe even this, although this one seems to be like a long-standing WoW lore, a lot of these spats. This seems like it's a little unearned. I don't know, like I feel like there's decades of, if not centuries of, conflict. And yes, of course they came and helped because they had to, right? Like I mean the Night Elf point is like we have to do something or else it is us that will pay too. And it's not to say you obviously can't be cordial and say like, hey, look, I obviously want to start mending, but it just seems like they rushed to the finish line on that one,
They could have almost made an entire expansion around this concept, I feel like.
Yeah, and again, even like a whole patch on just like the how do we rebuild kind of the relationships, right?
Yeah. I mean, I guess I wasn't too keen on some of the smaller things in the story where a lot of the characters are interacting, but I know not Anduin, who's the son, Eritor. He eventually was like, oh yeah, we need help, we need the Night Elves, but I thought it was really weird that we already had like the Void Elves here, and it's because it's kind of a Blood Elf story. And I know that at some point they were all connected. They were all like one or High Elves or whatever. But
they were like at war with each other.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like it's weird. It's weird that it's just kind of like
Umbric and Rameth were literally like Rameth was gonna like murder Umbric on sight, right?
Yeah, like literally earlier.
Yeah. And again, like they did an okay job to say like, all right, we understand we obviously have to work together. And I think even Umbric makes a joke like, you're obviously gonna be over my shoulder watching everything I do anyway, so like don't worry, you can double check everything I do.
I almost would have preferred if they would have did something like this and had it be almost like foreshadowing like this could happen eventually, but the fact that it kind of happened now, like they're all like, hey, we're working together, maybe one day we could all put our differences aside. But to kind of use a real world kind of thing, like imagine like the United States, right? Like let's say us and Canada work together on something.
Political again.
I was glad you went to Canada. I was like, where is he going with this?
Like we might have a mutual interest in whatever we're doing, but we still have our own goals all together. So like we might be together in this, but there might also be some things where like, well, we're still not going to concede on this. So I feel like this is a little unrealistic too. Maybe that's looking a little too deep into it. But
Well,
when I think about like kind of the things that WoW was built on years ago, even in like expansions like Wrath of the Lich King, where the Alliance and Horde were kind of working together, but they also were like trying to kill each other during like the Argent tournament or whatever. You know,
Yeah.
I feel like there's still this is just a far cry from that. So
yeah. I think of Game of Thrones when I think of like if like the House of Winterfell and the House what's the one
Baratheon?
yeah, like let's say Baratheon or whatever. Like, hey, we have a common enemy, we have to come together and stop it. But like the second that the
like
battle's over, they
Lannisters.
would
Yeah,
like
that's, like, literally what
immediately
happened.
they'd probably be scheming immediately. Now granted, obviously the blood between these guys might not be as deep, but like I would say, for example, with Umbric, right? It wouldn't have been a bad story beat to say like, Umbric, we obviously appreciate everything you do, but like we
But,
cannot
like, stay out of our place.
we like
still.
we cannot, you know, forgive the fact that you are making these decisions, and like you still are going to continue to make these decisions. So we're going to have to expel you. And again, it would give like a story beat for Umbric to be upset about something and have
Yeah.
maybe a motive to do something down the line, right? Or and again, it doesn't have to pay off. I'm just surprised that like
something-
everything's coming together and like, oh, you know, Care Bear it.
Something I did like in this that I brought up before is these small little, like when we go to Silver Moon and they're not like exactly welcoming to everybody.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that certain storylines play out slightly differently, or there's different dialogue if you're a Horde or Alliance or whatnot. And I liked a reminder of that as an underlying like tension, and this just feels like ignoring it. And like I'm gonna I just found a screenshot that I took earlier this week of something a guard said to me when I was trying to figure out where the fucking barber was. Like, literally, guard says to be careful not to destroy another tree with the fell magic you brazenly wield. That guy said that to me this week. Like, and it's just like, you know, the night elves are coming in and they're the Silver Moon guards are like saying this kind of shit to them is the idea I get in this world. I'm like, oh, there's like, I see this underlying tension. Something like this is kind of like ignoring that, and it's I think it's a situation like this with like, you know, big comic book franchises and like movie franchises with many writers, many directors and stuff, is that not everybody seems to be on the same page with how characters act, how, you know, factions are with each other. Maybe they have like a grand picture of like, we need them to come together, so just like make it happen. But then there's other writers who are like, well, I want to bring out the subtlety of like the tension in these things, and so it ends up being a very jumbled, disconjointed, like playing out of these themes and storylines.
Think of that
a really
guard.
good point.
Yeah, and think of that guard you're talking about, right? Like, is that
I'll bring
guard?
the screenshot.
No, but like, is that guard now that like, you know, all 5 of these have come together and so like, okay, we gotta sort this out. Is that guard gonna be all of a sudden like, oh shit, oh, I was the bad guy? Okay, hey, I love you now. Like, no, that's not how anyone. That's like a cartoon-esque,
Yeah,
like resolution to someone's ultimately like racism or whatever, right? Like,
yeah.
that doesn't just
And I
disappear overnight.
Yeah, I do like that. Like I like that there's a realistic kind of there's people, especially these elves who have lived for thousands of years. Like I feel like, you know, they wouldn't get over this stuff. It's like, dude, I was literally fighting you like, you know, a couple years ago, which is like nothing to my lifespan. Like I don't know, it just seems a bit weird.
Yeah. Well,
I
hopefully they
do.
stop doing it.
I am glad that this was the end of the campaign though, because when I originally read the spoilers, I thought this stuff was going to happen at the end of the Laura fight, and I thought it was going to be another one of those like Farak where it's
Yeah.
the end and you just see like the elves walking in and they're just like, we're just a friendship and rainbows,
Yeah.
and we're gonna take you down as they're walking, and you have to heal them. So
shooting Deathwing with the ray from all the dragonflights kind of shit. Yeah.
yeah. So I thought this was another one of those kind of endings. So I'm glad that this was at least not a part of the fight. So
We got Sylvanas instead. All right.
yep,
God, don't remind me.
we
Okay.
win runners.
All right.
Yeah,
We got-
Io's been really perfecting his Sylvanas impression.
Yeah, he's sitting in the mirror watching. All right. We've got some stuff. I just want to call it real quick also. WoW had started doing this where they are like, for Raiders, here's what you can expect from the nerfs, and for everyone else is, you know, here's what, you know, my Sarah Commons, and this will have different smoothing, blah blah blahs. But we did have some tuning on the dungeons and the raid, including a huge nerf to Laura on Mythic, to the point where I think only like let's say a handful, 5 guilds had cleared it before the nerf. and now people are clearing it left and right, which has brought up an argument. I don't think we talked about this last week, but tell me if we did. But brought up an argument that people are really upset that there's not a preserved version of bosses that the Race to World First guilds had.
We
So
brushed on it, but we didn't directly talk at it.
do you
from
do you
that
think
angle.
that should exist though? That version of the should there be a splintered Mythic version? And I bring this up because we're gonna have another Mythic lockout to talk about soon.
I think if it's in the difficulty difference between what the Race to World First does and what the regular people do is intentional, which I think we see such consistent. The second Race to World First is over, they consistently nerf it.
Yeah.
So it does seem like it is ramped up intentionally.
Yeah.
Then why not? You know, why not just say, yep, it's intentional. There's a higher
I think
difficulty.
they
or
did say
whatever.
as much. Liquid did Max did a interview with them after the race, and I don't want to say they like confirmed it, but they did in a matter of words say like, well, yeah, we were watching it very closely to make sure everything was tuned the right way, blah blah blah, and then, without saying it,
It's
the next
it's
day
apparent.
nerfed it
Like
to the ground.
you can't say that they just
Well,
accidentally overtune the
think
raid every time and then decide to nerf it right after Race to World First
this
every
season
time.
especially, I think it's very glaring only because of the eye level difference that they normally have. Like they wouldn't normally have been at like that kind of eye level in a regular race that only had one raid lockout. So I think this is definitely Blizzard showed their hand a bit this time, and not that that's a bad thing because everyone kind of suspected it anyways. But I think that there could be no denying it now that that's exactly what they do.
Lythian?
What would be kind of cool is if they kept the original tuning and like open it up on the tournament realm and allowed people to go slam against it for some reward or something. I don't know. There's ways to preserve the original tuning and see how many people can do it with max gear and everything. Because it's not a gear issue, it's a skill issue at that point. Like you got to be on point with all the coordination and everything, and it's overtuned on purpose to put on a good show. So it'd be kind of neat, fun to do. Like the tournament realms don't do much but sit there.
Well, I think people would want to have like some sort of achievement associated with saying like
Well,
you did it the way that they
yeah,
quote unquote
Mhm.
intended.
there has to be a reward for doing it. Otherwise, nobody will do it because that's silly.
Well, I guess you could do what they do with like the MDI where you get a banner if you do X, Y, and Z, right? So
Yeah,
they
banner,
could
title,
do something like
whatever.
that.
Yeah, just be neat.
All right. Well, I just thought that was an interesting conversation, and while I think Blizzard's kind of like we're not going to waste our time. It's not the intent of what we're trying to do here. A lot of the high end raiders who were like top 20 guilds or whatever were really upset. But at the same time, I think it also goes in the opposite direction. Like I remember Tindril, Sage Swift, and Farak, right? Like there were a lot of guilds that were, even as they held the nerfs for a little longer than usual, were like furious that they were doing 500 to 600 pulls on a boss. And again, I think like it's one of those things where you think you do but you don't. I don't know. Obviously, I'm not saying from a position of knowing, but it just seems like when they have it stay the same for longer, they get really upset very quickly. I don't know.
Yeah, we're just progging on heroic, so
Yeah, we got a glimpse of what the heroic fight involves, and I was like,
Yeah.
at one point I was like overwhelmed, like when we were starting to really get into the meat of it, and there's so much to dodge and so much like we didn't have you doing the memory game, I was like, this is impossible. Like
All right.
one of our first pulls where we got deep, I was like, how do they expect anybody to do this? It's crazy.
Well,
On
What is-
heroic.
We got to like 50%.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I'd
we're-
say
I know we
it
did.
would
Once
be
like when I get it now, but like I feel like the first time I was seeing everything all together, I felt like really overwhelmed. I was like, this is a lot.
No, but that's like one thing. Okay, so let's just take a quick detour here. I do want to say like I'm purposely trying to do this without add-ons, right? As we've talked at length about before.
Kind of using the add-on. There's one that goes into chat.
Yeah, but like again, that's just repeating what I'm doing manually, right? Like
Yeah,
so
yeah.
and again, I like you could type that out yourself, so whatever. But I'm not
Yeah,
using that part, right? I'm like what are they called? Raw dogging it.
You're the add-on.
Yeah.
But for all of us, like we are using you as an add-on.
But
Like
that's
Frank
the
is
point of
calling
raid
out
leading.
the memory game.
That's the
Yeah.
point of raid leading, right?
Yep.
And I went into it very worried that we were going to slam into a wall and not be able to get out of P1 for a long time. But like,
Yeah.
I genuinely feel super excited about this week because I feel like one, we got Beleren and Illyria down like pretty easily. I think we 2-shot or
Yeah, within
three-shot
3
both of them,
polls
right?
each.
Yeah. And so like we're progressing quickly now, and
Mhm.
we got into this on Thursday, got out of phase 1 consistently after maybe an hour and a half of progging, right? And the progging was just so we figured out the dance and figured out like, you know,
Mhm.
how do the glaives operate and how do the gems operate? How does the memory game, like, you know, how are we going to handle it without an add-on? And I'm like, I'm pretty like stoked about how this is playing out. Now again, we're not Mythic Raiders, so we don't know what like
Yeah.
the insanity of that raid that fight looks like. But we were told this was the hardest heroic boss possibly ever. And I feel confident that we're going to do this without add-ons. And, you know, it does require a lot of cognitive load on me, like watching the timers. But I got Panalo main tanking instead. And so as an off tank, I'm really just like making sure I taunt on time. And then otherwise I can be the add-on that the raid needs, you know?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the taunt timers are pretty predictable, so you have it mostly memorized.
It's a dance. It's
So
a dance. You know, you just got to
yeah,
remember
it's
where to put your feet, at, you know, here and there, and, you know, wait for
yeah.
the beats.
I think
So,
I think even if Frank wasn't able to do, which he's doing a great job on it, so let's put him over, as they say in wrestling. But
Mm.
Put them
I
over.
think even if Frank wasn't able to do that, I still think people, if they really needed to, they could just put a little paint,
yeah.
Microsoft Paint on their next thing with these are the shapes and these are the markers we assign them
Yep.
to, and do it that way. They just have to they don't even need to pay attention to the memory game. Just look at that, and then just line it up. So I think
Yeah,
there's definitely
honestly,
ways to do it that it's more intimidating than it looks, I think.
yeah.
For
If
sure.
I didn't have an add-on, I didn't have somebody raid leading the order back to me, and
Well,
I was required to remember it. Like, let's say I
that's
get the
insane.
triangle.
That's insane.
Yeah, but I was like,
Why would
how
you
would
do
you?
that?
But like, how would you do that?
How would you
Like,
do
I
any of
would
the final boss? How
But
I would
also-
probably
how
have
would
a
you do
sticky note.
Razageth? How would you do Razageth if you didn't have a raid leader telling you to do X, Y, and Z?
I don't
But
remember.
also,
I
I
don't
mean,
remember anything like this in Razak.
if we were to say, hey, this one's always going to be X, this one's always going to be blue, after like 5 or 10 polls, you would probably have a pretty good idea of what was what just from
No, but
muscle
sometimes
memory.
triangles first, second, third, fourth, fifth. You'd have to every time you see it, you'd be like, okay, I remember all 5 of them, and then you get assigned a piece, and then you have to remember exactly what position that was, all while doing your rotation. Like
Well,
I was trying to
See-
practice memorizing it, and I was like, dude, this would be fucking impossible without somebody raid leading it.
So I think it's not tough for a normal person, but if you're the type of person that likes to go to the furthest possible angle and then swoosh your way over last minute, then I think maybe
That's
you'll have some
true.
trouble with it.
Scrap and
Yeah,
I got
yeah.
into
No, but
some fights over that this week.
well, yeah, because
Yeah.
you're blaming me for messing up raid mechanics that I did not mess up even one time the whole night. So
We need to take all your movement abilities away. You can't be a class that has like movement abilities
actually, that
anymore.
is one thing I really like about Demon Hunter is that like you have a heroic leap that you can use like 3 times, and you have a disengage, and you have a charge. It's like all the best movement abilities
It's
to
chaos.
get you into trouble.
For everybody else, it's chaos.
Yeah,
So,
no, you can definitely move around on that class. It's really nice.
No, but I mean, like Max was talking about this again about the add-on that they used for this particular, you know, the memory game. And he's like, guys, it's not really that complicated of an add-on. We just would like, you know, hit a button to effectively tell us what we saw first. And
Yeah.
then, you know, so just like repeated it back to him and did the memory for him. Now that is, I think, arguably computational, right? Like it's taking a lot of the workload that Scrap is worried about off. But it's not to say that if and again, Max is the 21st player of their team, if their tank, who is off tanking, were to run around and do the same thing we did, I don't know because of glaives. I don't know because of, you know, all the other mechanics that maybe I haven't seen firsthand. But like I think they could have done it. It would have maybe taken more pulls, of course, but they could have
Yeah.
done it if they really had to. And
The way we do it is the perfect way to do it without add-ons. Like you have somebody
not using add-ons.
mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, sorry, yeah, not using add-ons. Like have somebody mark the spots as the memory game's coming out. They're focused on the memory game, you know,
Well, they don't
and
even have
there's
to.
nothing you're really doing
yeah.
otherwise.
Like me as the off tank, I have nothing worried about. I will do the memory part. I will put the markers down on the ground. And then once you see something over your head, you just go, cool, where is it? And everyone's like talking like it's over there, whatever. And
Yep.
you know, we got plenty of time to get in position for those, for on heroic at least.
Mhm.
And yeah, I think it's I'm really pleased with not having to stress about not having an add-on. In fact, I'd feel like there are other things in the game that I'd be more stressed about having an add-on before I worried about this fight.
Like a cursor add-on.
What
No, but
like I think Max used to say that a lot of mechanics you can do them 99% of the time, but if you could guarantee them 100% of the time, that's why you use the weak aura.
yeah,
I mean, this is
especially in the
something
environment they're in.
I think most mechanics, you can absolutely just kind of get the muscle memory for and do the pulls. That's why you do the pulls and you figure it out, and that's how you prog it. Obviously today there's way more tools in the game, so I think people just take the easy path, but it's fun actually. That's one of the reasons why I enjoyed doing the raid with you guys, is because it's fun to actually know kind of what the strategy is, but also to prog it too and actually kind of go through each phase. Like the last fight, I didn't know anything about the first phase, and it was fun to just see everything happen and actually work out, okay, this is what I gotta do for this, this is what I gotta do for this. So
yeah. And I still got killed by Bellerin, so that was fun too. All right.
Yep.
It wouldn't be a pull if you didn't.
All right. Tuesday, we have 12.0.5 coming out. We did talk pretty quickly about this last week. I don't want to drive too deep into it, but I am going to give a quick summary on some things. First, the most important thing coming in 12.0.5 is pet battles seem to be coming back. They're making their comeback. I just wanted to bring that up because that's
the most important thing.
Most important thing, right? Mr.
Well,
GM, by the way, if you don't follow him on
hope-
Twitter, he's awesome with this kind of stuff. He always finds these little tidbits that they don't blue post or talk about on Wowhead. But yeah, he pointed out that the some of the pets that are coming in 12.0.5 will have abilities and can battle. So just wanted to make
It
sure.
gives me hope for Dragon Racing coming
This
back.
is what
maybe
you
even the car.
Yeah, this is what you like, the hill you were dying on, right? Is they don't support the features anymore. This is bullshit kind of stuff. Well, they listened to you, Scrap. They said you're right. We'll support it. So
Well, they're probably not bringing back like the World Quest or pet trainers and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know, or we'd hear about that. So I wouldn't say it's fully supported.
And then also, as of Tuesday, Scrap, you'll be able to prop hunt. We were unsure, but I've now confirmed. I think it's 5. I say think it's 5v5. And you can queue on it anywhere between 81 and 90. So that's nice.
You get experience out of it.
I don't. Maybe you do.
That's how
I'm a scale level through prop hunts.
But there is there are illusionary coins that come as a result of winning to have house decor. They have 3 roles, so Spellbreaker, you tag a hider and make them out. I think that sounds strange. Okay. Oh, they all say that. Okay. Oh, that's your ability, is that you tag. All right. And then there's one that can dispel an illusion, one that can dispel illusions of spellcasters in the area in front of you. Whatever. So there are 3 different people who are searching, and then of course you and your team have to hide. Very much looking forward to this. We'll probably stream.
We're doing that instead of raid, right?
Yeah, we'll probably stream this on like Wednesday or something.
Once we get AOTC, it's just prop hunts all the time now.
Oh yeah.
Now, there are some other things coming in 12.0.5 that we did not talk about that was actually kind of newsworthy. So I want to jump in with the first being a new achievement that's coming as a result of the feedback that we've been saying for years. There should be a middle ground between the 0.1 and the Keystone, Legend or whatever, achievement. And so as of Tuesday, there will be 2 new achievements that you can earn between those levels. The first is Keystone Myth, which is obtained by hitting 3,400 rating. And what it'll do is give you a token where you can get a mount from previous Keystone achievements, as well as some others. We don't know what those others will be right now, but it is obviously a best of both worlds here, because one, we have a new achievement, which 3,400 is 18s or 16s?
So I read someone say it was all 16s, but I cannot confirm.
I feel like 3,400 is a little higher. Like, I mean, it'd be like 15, 16s, but whatever. Point is, it's another step in the ladder, right? And it gives you some agency to what you want out of it, right? You get to choose an amount, which is awesome. They did point out that while this season is 3,400, we do not expect that to be the threshold as fixed, and it will evolve based on the seasons, yada yada yada. So what it might be is that we kind of don't know what this achievement will be until the 05s of the the 0.5s of the patch. Either way, I think that's okay, because most people won't be getting to this point by the 0.5 anyways. Actually, here, before we go on, any thoughts on that?
No, I'm really, really happy with these changes. I mean, this is what I was asking for. So, yeah, this is good.
I was going to make a comment on how this has to be the last one because they have nothing higher than Myth, but then they said they can possibly change it, so they thought ahead on that one. So good on you, Blizzard. I hope that they have the balls to put some TCG mounts in as the ones you can get and see the reaction from that, because that'll be fun.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah, but at least this will be open to anyone who, like, all right, you see the trading card game, Tiger or whatever it is that everyone lost their mind and paid millions of dollars for. Well,
Yeah.
sure, but you can log in right now, and if you just put your mind to it, you can get there. Pugging it might be miserable, but you can do it. We've proved that in the wheel. So yeah, I think that's good.
You could
Okay.
also join a
Oh, sorry, go
community.
Yeah, join a
You can
community.
also join a community.
Do not,
What?
I mean, like, don't put yourself through pugging if you don't have to, right? I get it, some people have to because of their time constraints, but find a community or guild.
Yeah.
Okay, second achievement, Umbral Champion. In this case, it's the Champion achievement. So what will happen is not only will there be a 0.1 cutoff, but there will now be a 1% cutoff, which will award you this season an Umbral Champion title, and it says a new exclusive mount.
That's exciting. That's basically a gladiator mount, like.
I don't think we've seen the mount, and I hope to God it's not a recolor, but even if it is, at least it's something, right? Now, friend of the podcast, Jordan, has done the number crunching right now as of today. Well, I'll tell you today, like this week, of what would be qualifying for the 1%ers. And it looks like if you have a rating of, in the North America, which is where we're from, a 3349 about, you would qualify for this. 3349 is 15s, I think. What do you guys suspect this number is going to actually land at with the top 1%? Do you think that this is going to incentivize more people to get more competitive at that level?
I think the 3400 is going to incentivize people to move that up, and I think that number is going to increase. But
It's going
I
up.
don't know. Yeah, it's going to go. It's got nowhere to go but up. But I think that it'll be around. I think it's going to be around 3600.
Yeah,
So
I think that
Okay.
sounds.
here's
I
the
think
previous seasons,
yeah.
right? And I was saying this when we first learned about it, that last season, I don't know if you hit it, Scrap, but I know I did on my wheel. So
I don't think
would've
I hit 35.
qualified.
I was like just south of
But you
3500.
would have pushed to get it if you.
I would have, yeah. I totally could have. I was kind of done over it.
I think being that this season is, well, I think the early, like, the first 10 keys are easier, but arguably maybe the second 10 to 20 is not, although people are pushing quicker, so maybe they are. But the point is that, like, it's definitely gonna be higher than 3500. We agree?
For sure, yeah.
I think so
for
too.
sure.
Yeah. It's gonna. I think when this is implemented, you're gonna see a lot more people go for it, especially as they are going for the 3400 achievement. And I suspect that as time goes on, you'll see people kind of tap out when they see potentially how high the number gets, because I think that we see in previous seasons it's like 35, 34. If this is not, I mean, season 1 of Worth and 3000 was the 1%, which is kind of crazy looking back on it. But that was a hard season. But
Yeah, it was.
I think, like, once people have the incentive to push for it, you're gonna get a lot of people that maybe are good enough to try for title, but always might just miss out, or maybe don't put the effort in because they're like, well, I don't think I get the 0.1%, but I can definitely get the 1%. And then I think you'll start to see that go up a bit because you'll just have a lot more people kind of gunning for it. So it'll be interesting to see how the numbers play out for that, and if there's any more involvement. And I think that'll be good. I mean, overall, it sucks if you are in a spot where this kind of gets pushed out of your reach, but I think it just encourages people to improve. And I think it's when more people are running these, it's better for the game. So
yeah, I always thought the title being a reward was a good thing because it's like a flexible thing. It's not just like, you get 3K and then that's it, you retire. It's like you have to kind of take it and hold it until the end of the season. And
Yeah.
it has like an indefinite value to it. Like it could be pushed up as far as people could humanly go. So it's interesting I like that they added another concrete reward and another flex reward, because I think, yeah, that these needed to exist. Just the difference between the highest reward being title and the second highest reward being 3K. There's so much more in between that, and these are very well placed. I think 3400. I think Lythian's on the money with 36. Between 36 and 3700 will probably be where the 1% is. That's my prediction.
One of the things you said just triggered an idea in me. They
Mhm.
should make a title achievement for the top player in each region, and that person gets a transmog of a championship belt, and then if they're not number one at the end of the next season, they have to defend the belt, so they have to be number one again, or it goes to someone else. I think that would be kind
I
of
love
funny.
that. I mean, we've always said, like, you know, I've frequently been in within a season, and I know Frank was last time with Affliction, like top 100 in the country or in the world or whatever. Like, if they could
I
do
was
it
top
for
25 in the world.
classes.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Playing like the worst thing. Like, it's not uncommon if you play like once you start to get higher, the groups become much more homogenized as people try to pick like the groups that can only push that high. You're gonna see a lot less of whoever's on the bottom, even though you could make it there, no problem.
I think that if they were to do something for each spec, like you were the number one, again, Affliction Warlock or whatever, it
Yeah.
would do so much to prove the meta isn't as strong as people think it is.
It would, but I do predict that what would happen is what happens with like Hunters, where like Banchers is number one in all categories because he has
They could
has
yeah, they could limit it that you only get one, right? So like whatever your highest score is the one you qualify for, and then it would fall back to the next person.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, the challenge with stuff like that isn't just it isn't just you, it's your group, right? It's the people you run with, right? And if you're
Yeah.
running with rock stars, I mean, like Scrap, she's gonna get carried to whatever we carry her to, you
I
know.
thought you were saying
So
Rockstar's like Scrap.
no, no.
Oh,
Sorry, I
It's got bass player
apologize.
energy.
bass player. Yeah, and I like being the bass player.
No, I do think that's part of the
can't believe
challenge.
you
Is
bit on that bait, Scrap. I cannot believe you.
I know. it was
You can
very
see
well
me shaking
played.
my head from a mile away, and then you go, "Oh, I thought he was gonna."
Yeah,
Jeez.
it was a well played bait.
oh.
But overall, a huge win. Do you guys think there's any
win.
additional checkpoints they need?
Not right now. I think this seems good.
I
I think
wanna
3400 will be a nice push for us. Like,
Yeah, I want to see how far E team goes, man.
We
See how
can-
far we
We
go.
can definitely get
Making
3400.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about
But it's
beyond
still
that.
gonna be a push. It's still gonna be a push, so that's good.
Making the one flexible, I think, will make it so that this will always be the top one, and they just see how the season's kind of panning out, and they go, okay, this seems fair for this season, and then they'll put it in for that. I think you're right on this could be like a 0.5 achievement that they add each time.
Yeah.
So that way they don't have to make like another one, because at what point does it stop, right? Like, are you just gonna do one for 18, 20? You know, it's
Well, and on top of that, people keep saying that the turbo boost would always like unfairly make people wait to push. The argument for this though is that you will want to kind of get yourself ready so that when they announce the 3400 or whatever, you can't quit the game early. You still need to go out and do it. But, you know, getting the 3400, you know, gives you something to do while you're waiting. Or getting ready to, you know, kind of finding that number beforehand gives you something to do while you're waiting.
yeah. Cool.
All right. Let's keep moving. We got a little more information around the Voidforge, which again will launch as long as you've done your 5 weeklies, and you can hopefully catch up. But they explained that you will get, again, 2 a week. You can buy them. You can use Marl. You can use other things, I'm sure. But they also pointed out that if you take your 6 or whatever the currency you get from a vault that you don't like, the token of merits,
Tokens.
you can trade them to get an additional roll on your roll system, which I think is a ingenious way to solve people who are upset about bad luck. Well, it's effectively saying like, hey, you had a bad vault, we get it. We'll give you a little roll extra to try to solve that. And as you get later in the season, it's going to get even better because you hopefully have eliminated a lot of things off your list if you're still being unlucky. So, Lythian, you seem to say, yep, you think this is a good idea, yeah?
No, I think it's great. I mean, I'm at a point where all I need are myth upgrades to a lot of the stuff I have.
Except bracers.
Yeah, except I'm still wearing champion bracers and champion trinket, but whatever, you know, it's fine. But no, I think it's a great idea. It's better than just getting a sad or a socket.
Sad.
I don't know what they're called this season.
I keep calling them sads too. That was like 3 seasons ago now, but that was just the perfect name for it.
It's so sad.
Yeah, sad.
Frank, as the resident bad luck haver of the season, do you feel good about this?
Okay, a little aside. So a pleb who's a tank in our community has been leveling a lot of alts, and he was gushing about how he got to eye level like 250 within like a day of hitting 90. And he's like, well, you just got to go out and do the activities, like do the weeklies and do the the events out in each zone. And I was like, yeah, I just did one. And of course, I'm the bad luck roller where I opened the chest and it didn't give me any fucking loot at all, despite the fact that all my other tunes are getting them. Like,
I didn't know
what the
that could
fuck is going on? So anyways, my problem isn't so much the concern of bad luck protection. I felt like the game, for the most part, I never felt the need that I had to perfect every slot anyways. You know, like we don't play at a level where I needed to min-max to that degree.
No.
Now granted, with the new achievements, maybe I'll start feeling that way. But again, I have never felt that like intense about being perfect on, like, I never care about not having the raid trinkets despite the fact that they're usually busted, right?
Yeah, but
Um,
especially after we did MDI and we see like what we can do if we have all this good gear,
Yeah.
now I feel like really motivated to actually like fix my character's gear.
Maybe, but what I was gonna say though is that like my gripe right now is the fact that I have all this champion gear because once I
Yeah.
built my weapon with my crests and my whatever those sparks, all that they fucking drop for me in my vault is weapons now, right?
Yeah.
And all they drop in dungeons is my weapons. And so I have a whole bunch of disenchants and I have no gear to show for it. I think again, everyone is unanimously saying like they're gearing faster and they're enjoying this better. I have 2 new alts that hit 90 a day or two ago. We'll see how they go, right? But as I said, I already opened one of them with nothing in the damn chest of, doing the
Well,
weekly. So,
with O5 coming out, you'll be able to get hero items quite easily through a couple of different ways. So
Can't you get hero items from delves now? Like
yeah,
just
Delves
buy them?
9s.
you,
Yeah, but I
if
can't do
you,
those
well,
delves.
you
Oh.
can. If you use Valeria as a tank, you can heal her by doing damage. But either way, the assaults are going to give hero items, so that's going to be big, and it's going to put delves kind of to the side, which I think is kind of a weird.
I've already put
It's a
delves to
weird.
the side.
It's a
I mean,
weird thing. Well, you still people like you push really hard to get through that Delver's journey. It requires a lot
Time.
of
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
And now they're coming out with assaults, and assaults just give you hero gear. And so what's the point of doing the delves anymore? Like I don't know, it's weird.
I think the delve journey though is something that, if you're kind of going throughout the season, if you don't have an alt immediately, maybe later you get one and you get some champion gear from it, there's still reasons to kind of do them on a newer character. So I think you can still kind of boost it up that way when just maybe not do it on your main, but obviously you'd have to, if you're trying to push it up, then you'd have to get to a point where you'd have to do it outside of getting reward from it. But at that point, you're just trying to get something to make you look like Valera or Bran or whatever. So it's kind of worth it in the end.
Yeah.
There's
I
no
finished
eye level for that. So
I finished the Delver's journey already, so
nice.
That
which
can't
I
be
don't
is
understand.
right for the whole
it.
season.
Yeah, no, him and
Yeah.
Haywire, they're like Valyria, whatever her name is like level 45 or 50 or whatever.
mine's
It
50,
always maxes us
55,
out every
56.
season.
And I've been
I
doing
don't
more
know.
delves than I ever have, and she's like, mine's only level 14.
Yeah,
Do you guess-
mine's like level 15,
Level
16.
14.
Do you do like the 11s? Use like maps and make them all bountiful and get the
I
little
did them leveling
curios
up,
or whatever.
right? I did them leveling up because like that, doing the delves is a good way to level up. And so
Yeah.
of course I'm not going to get a ton of like I don't know how the experience is handed out at level 1 versus level 8 or whatever. But when I hit level 90 on my main and my mage, right? So Ariosto and Frankenberry, like everyone was always running dungeons. Why would I stop and like, hey, I'm not going to run dungeons with you guys. I'm going to go do delves, right? So I did try to get I'm trying to get like up to level 11 or whatever it is on my tank cuz I can go pretty quickly as my tank. But like I've not tried to gear through them yet because for example, my shaman just hit level 90. He's eye levels like 170 or something. I'm worried that I'm going to get like absolutely just destroyed in a 8 delve as an example. And so I've like been discouraged. I figure my time is better spent just trying to get into anything I can, like dungeon wise, and I'll just pray and hope that I don't have bad luck. That doesn't seem to be the right strategy, but
if you don't want anything from like the greater Delver rewards, then it's probably worth it to do it the way you're doing and not worry about it. But
I don't know. Clearly, people are doing it.
to,
It's working, but
to kind of
I like it.
pick on something you said before, though, I think this system for gearing it's one of those things where like 70% of the time it feels good, but like that 30% of the time you have bad luck is when it feels really bad. It's like you're either, excuse me, having really good luck and you're feeling really great. You're having okay luck and you're progressing. You know, you have little milestones you're working towards in terms of your gear, and then you're just, what are we even doing here? It's like that's like the low point. So
Well,
I don't
what
think
like
I think it's kind of like the most people are going to enjoy it, and a select few people are going to have those seasons where they're just like, I did not get off to a great start this season. And it could be the same person every season, which sometimes I hear people say that all the time, or it could be another person like me. I've had great starts, but I've also had this one, for example, is a slow start. I took a Dragon Games equipment out of my vault for this week, for God's sake.
Oh.
So
why? No,
long story.
yeah, I'd say, like today for the delve, I was trying to get my rogue some gear, and I get to the end, and there's a merchant at the end once you hit a certain level that sells hero gear, and I'm hoping for a hero weapon, and it has a hero weapon, but it's a mace, and I play assassination, so I don't understand. Like,
Yeah, what they
that
were
made me
doing.
really angry. Yeah, I'm like, why? Why? It's like, it's torturous sometimes. But this season, I've ramped up my monk pretty quick, and he's got most of what he needs outside of bracers and a trinket, and I've been farming the heck out of that trinket, and I can't get it to drop no matter what.
I mean,
So
I'm like, on the one hand, everything's okay because like I'm probably like 8 eye levels off from where you guys are, despite the fact that I play my mage a lot. I'm talking about my mage, not my healers. The gear is like, it helps, but you don't see the level of how much it helps usually, so it doesn't ever bother me. As long as I'm able to keep up, I'm fine. But like my mage, I want to DPS, I want to top the meter. The good news is that like Arcane isn't in such a bad shape that I'm not I'm able to keep up. I'm doing perfectly fine, right? I'm still using my vibe build because it's just been working out for me. But it doesn't also help that like if I'm going against Scrapclaw and she is like just maybe 1% or whatever higher than me, I keep thinking, God, if I just had all my gear, I'd be putting her in the shitter and I can move on with my life, you know?
Right.
So like
But
that
then but
competitive
see, the
side.
thing is, if you start doing better, then I start doing better.
Good. Well, then
Because then
good.
I have to get
that's
together. Then
That's
I'm
great
like,
why.
for
well, I
me.
can't die now because he might catch me if I
That's
die.
why I
That's the
should have
difference.
DPS'd an MDI because then you would have pulled your
Yes.
shit together.
Yeah, no, as long as
Yeah.
I'm at the top, like it's like it's the rabbit and the tortoise, right? But I'm the rabbit. I go take a nap.
Yeah.
Like I'm like there's no one can catch me. I can chill now. Like
Um. Yeah. I was gonna say something about trinkets in general. I feel like there needs to be.
trinkets are always tough.
Well, like everyone's using the puzzle box, but everyone hates the puzzle box, and I was just
Oh
thinking.
God, I hate the puzzle
Yeah.
box on my rogue.
I
I
don't
don't
think
have to
So
there's
use
bad.
that.
I don't think there's any new news out of this because there's always like that trinket once, like what was the one that you always use, Scrap?
Storm
The
The
Eater's
boon.
boon.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
Although I do have a trinket on my mage where I think it's a trinket, maybe it's something else. But anyways, where like if someone dies, I get a buff of my secondary stats.
Nice.
And of course the debuff will sit there because I've got my debuffs like blown up really big on my screen. It'll sit there reminding me that Scrap died 2 minutes ago, and that reminds me of the trinket that you guys used to always get super happy about whenever Scrap or me or whatever died. So
Oh,
The fire one. What was it?
the grief torch.
yeah,
Grief
the
Torch.
Oh yeah, I love that
Yeah,
thing.
I rolled with Grief Torch and Storm Eater's boon at the same time because that's the kind of gamer I am.
Yep.
I just wish like I think Dragon Games equipment's a really fun trinket for me personally because I enjoy the concept of, hey, who am I going to coach this time? It's fun for me, but I hate the fact that it feels bad for me to take a myth trinket out of my vault knowing I'm probably just going to replace it with two heroic raid trinkets that
Well,
sim better.
that's been the case for a while now,
Yeah,
right?
but
Like there's
it's
always.
warming the spot for those trinkets, right? Like
Well,
you
you get
keep
to
the spot
upgrade.
warm.
You get to upgrade with no crest, I guess. That's
It's true.
nice.
No,
Yeah.
but I'll tell you what, Io. Every time you said who wants to be coach, and you said like I'd say I want to, and you were coaching me, I'd be like, I'm gonna make my coach proud. So it gave me a little boost,
I was
both in
confused
game and
by
out.
that for the longest time.
I do wish I do one reason I would still love to have some version of weak auras that I could use is I would love to be able to track that so I could let people know when they're being coached because you get a buff from it, but it's not technically one that I don't think I can track it in the cooldown manager even with an add-on. So I'm just like, I
Yeah.
wish I could. So I
Actually,
could
You
see.
could get a macro like that when you click on somebody, it whispers to them like, "Hey,
no,
make Dad
no.
proud"
It
or
doesn't. No,
something.
it's just a buff you give him, so it doesn't. He needs to know when it procs.
Oh, when it procs.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
actually, I'll
Yeah,
give you
just so I
another
could be
example
like
though,
coaching
because
you.
in MDI, someone came in, Husky Busky came into my stream and told me to use a different trinket. It's the, you know it better than I do, Asky, like the tome one, the one that
Yeah,
you,
I don't remember what it's called off the top of my head, but it's the Mythic plus one. I'll look it
Yeah.
up real quick, but keep going.
But the long and short of it is like when you use it, if you do 5 instances of damage to the mob, everyone in the group gets a 50% damage reduction. I can't tell, like it says until until like the absorb expires. I can't tell what that absorb is. And so this is like the first time where I'm sitting there going, shit. And people have complained about this already in you know Twitter and all that stuff, but like where the cooldown manager is letting me down because I'm not entirely sure how I'm helping you guys out. Now, when I look at
Yeah.
my logs or even in the you know the damage meter in game, I see it does a lot of quote unquote healing, but I want to, like, we were doing that big pull in Skyreach and I was using it, and I want to be able to tell Lythian, who was like yo-yoing his health up and down, hey, you've got a 20 or 50% damage reduction for, you know, 3 seconds here, just so he could have a little bit of relief. But I wasn't able to tell him that because it's a trinket and not a cooldown track. So
Yeah.
I gotta admit that this is the first time I'm saying I kind of wish I do have a weak or for that to tell me, you know, here's what you got.
It is the Litany of Lightbind Wrath
Yeah.
or Lightblind Wrath. Sorry.
Yeah. Great trinket.
That's cool, man.
Shout
It's
out to Husky for
probably
telling me to use it.
Yeah, it's definitely, I think it's one of those really great in raid or M plus, not great in raid trinkets
yeah.
that you get sometimes. So
Yeah, I'm gonna hunt it down now. So that'll be what I'm looking for. Okay. Let's talk quickly about some other minor things going on. This is a nice quality of life that people have been begging for. With the 12.0.5 patch, you'll now be able to decide how your weapons sheath, as well as some other new situations. So we talked about the other situations of, like, you know, so weather and time of day. So if it's raining, Scrap, we talked about how you can pull an umbrella out as your transmog.
Yep.
Which is awesome. You can also do macros. So if you want to, whatever reason, macro it into something. But the thing that everyone's super excited is now you can choose between how you sheath your weapon.
This is so fucking great, dude.
Such a small thing that makes
Yep.
everyone go, oh, fuck yeah, right?
I've always hated one-handers because they look so fucking stupid if you have these two giant one-handers like swinging back and forth on your hips. Like, oh my god, this is huge.
Such a nice quality of life. So just
Yeah.
big
that is
W
sweet.
there.
Yeah,
Wanted to call it out.
it's awesome how they can take something like Transmog, which is already something that's been great for a while, for 10 plus years now, and still find ways they can innovate on it. So good on them.
Well, but here's the thing. People have been telling them to do this for years, and they just like have been dragging their feet on it.
Yes,
I'm
I've heard this
hoping-
complaint for a while.
I'm hoping this is a act of goodwill, faith, to say, like, because, you know, Holly and others were saying a while back, customization has been very clearly something you guys care about, and we, you know, when it comes to races and transmogs, we hear you guys saying, like, this is what you want. I don't know how long this would take for someone to code. I doubt it could be that long because they've always had the back versus side, you know, sheathing on some weapons and not others. So, you know, hopefully it didn't take long. But again, it's such a low hanging fruit that awesome W. And I
Well,
just hope to
here's
see
the
more.
thing. If they really care about customization and Holly, if you're listening right now, we need another character customization update. The last one we had was in Shadowlands, and female Taurens still only have 4 faces. So,
Well,
like,
that's what she was referring to. I don't think she
Yeah.
said Torn, but she said, like, we know, you know, whatever, Draenei.
it's just cool to see that with the dragons and the Heronir and stuff, how like customized you can make these characters. I mean, it's like you can put a quill on their left butt cheek, basically. Like, it's like so much like tight customization. You can make these characters look so different and so unique. And then female Taurens, one of like the core races that's been in the game forever, have 4 faces. Full stop. That's it.
I
Like,
I
it's just like, dude.
randomized my dwarf on the
Yeah.
tournament realm, And I like didn't reckon. I was like, "What the fuck? I've never seen anything like this." Because
Yeah,
that's
and I've
saying
never
so many
seen
more
some of these.
features.
There's definitely some, and I get it. It's like not a lot of people play female Taurens. And like when I was making my Night Elf character for Demon Hunter, I've never made a Night Elf before. I was like, oh my god, dude, I can customize the shit out of her face. Like you can give her like a scar here or this or that. Or I was like, this is really sweet. I'm like, I would like to see it. Like, you know, we just need another update. There was a huge update in Shadowlands that brought a lot of new kind of customization options and revamping of old models and stuff, and it looked great. And it's actually what brought me back to the game in Shadowlands was that, believe it or not. So come on, it's been a while. Let's get another one of those.
Well, they say
Come
it's one of their priorities. So
yeah,
once they get the roadmap for housing out, you know.
Yeah.
To answer your question, Frank, it takes much quicker to code this than it does to code helms with hair or whatever is the other one people want, I think.
Oh, helms with hair. I mean, you don't even have to do all the helms with hair. There's just some where it's like it seems silly. Like you would see the hair.
I think Holly said that as one of the examples. She's like,
she did.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so also to call out, you said with the dragons, for example, scrap in 12.0.5, you'll also be able to use your visage form, which is again a big W for those who like that kind of stuff.
Yep,
okay.
and blue eyes for demon hunters. That's the other thing.
That's coming out next thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's the other thing that's coming, in with the visage form too.
Okay. So we had this launch with, I think this patch with the midnight, with the helping of the routing, right? Well, they've expanded it to be able to be used in all dungeons now. So while this is maybe not something we would care or use, I think it was clear that because it only worked in the 2 to 5s and no one is doing 2 to 5s anymore because they're so stupid easy, it wasn't really helping anyone out unless they were kind of like forcing themselves to quote unquote downgrade. But they are expanding it to every key that you can toggle it on. It doesn't have to be on all the time. But I am begging and praying that they're going to import some sort of system where you can effectively do the count. You know, Lythian always is our tank right now. He could go in and build his count, so he no longer has to question whether he missed a mob. And I actually, I don't even know, like, if you're not the tank, do you see the glow? Does everyone see the glow?
No, you don't see the glow. Only the tank does.
Are you sure?
I'm sure. On the 2 to 5, yeah. Because I remember talking to somebody, I don't remember if it was Lythian or something, they were talking about it, and I was like, I don't see it.
Don't you have to turn it on?
Not in the 2 to 5s.
No, it's just on.
It's just on automatically.
Yeah. Well, I hope we did it on beta, so I guess that means you didn't notice it.
I hope that they implement a feature where if you pull something that isn't glowing, Lindormi just pops up with like a little talking head and it's just like, wait a minute, wasn't on the route.
What is that? Algathar boss is like, that's not how the story goes.
Yep.
No, but again, this would be such an amazing feature. Like I'm thinking back when we were doing the MDI and we like missed a bear in my Sayers or whatever. I don't remember. And like if I could see that it's glowing, I could tell, hey, Lythian, you need to go back and get that. And it would just save a key here and there. And again, continue to build confidence for people who need that little, like, you know, just visual guide.
In that particular situation, that would not have happened because while we were missing that bear, I saw a little dwarf paladin run up to pull the next pack because the tank wasn't pulling fast enough.
We'll talk all about that later.
But I believe when IO posted something about this, a lot of people were kind of like melting down about it. Like maybe soft melting down. They were like, oh, like, I don't know, IO, what were you seeing people saying?
So I don't remember what everyone was saying. I think for the game, it's good in the sense that it's a data-driven change, in my opinion. It's something they said, what's people's issues with tanking? Is it them not doing enough damage, and is it this, is it that? Most people collectively said we don't want to have to kind of be the one in control. We don't have to learn, like, we don't know the routes, we don't know where to start. So that's why I think they put this in to encourage more people to try to start tanking. And I think that's great, and I think that's good for the game. But where I kind of saw it as a negative is there's a big part of WoW, especially tanks, that I feel like it's a community kind of driven game where, you know, you talk about your routes with other people, you collaborate, you look up stuff, it's just, there's a lot of collaboration in it. And I think if you're the kind of person that isn't really willing to kind of do that level of I'm that into
Oh,
this,
Lord.
and this is why I want to do it. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I don't want to say it like that because I don't want it to think like I'm gatekeeping. Like, oh, you don't want to put in the work, then you
No.
shouldn't be tanking. But I think there's a level of it that I think the reason why the people who tank do so well at it is because there's an enthusiasm for it. And I don't want people just to go, well, I'm not getting into Q, so I'm just gonna tank and well, I'll
Yeah.
just follow the glow. Who cares? Like,
Mhm.
Yeah,
Lythian,
but every key that I pug, I've been pugging Skyreach a lot because that dumb trinket. But every key that I pug, the first question I get asked is, "Where's Lust?" And then I get asked, there's random questions that come up about the routes and things like that, even in some of the lower keys for some reason. But I have to be able to answer all those questions. And people don't want to think too much. They want to be able to just go and do their thing. And if you're tanking, it's like when we were doing the MDI stuff, I had some routes that I thought through, and I went through and I looked at the 3 chests, and I did a couple of things, and tried a couple of different things, and you also have to be aware of aggro at all times,
I
and
want to
it's
note
just
that I was going to be really toxic there, but I didn't want to put $10 in. I'm sorry.
there's a little what
He's gonna be
you're gonna
toxic.
I was going to make a really toxic joke. I want to note that I
you,
didn't take that route.
you could here's the thing, like when we're progressing, like if you're the tank, you have to be accountable for maintaining aggro at all times. And it's with certain
Well,
DPS, it's really hard.
I would argue that's
Uh,
actually not like what you're. I mean, yes, you are responsible for, but that's not even price of admission. That's a given. You have to do
like,
it.
yeah,
The
you
real
have
work
to
is
do it.
everything else, right?
And like on my DK, Blood Boil is circular, it's all around. On my Monk, everything is cone in front of you, right? And so if I'm scurrying past a pack, I'll do a spinning crane kick, which does like very little aggro. But either way, like you got to be accountable for all that stuff. And then you got to watch the important kicks, because if you're in a pug, you can forget about it. Like they're going to kick whatever they see. They're not going to kick what needs to be kicked. So
Well,
it's,
nothing derails
I
your
don't know.
pull more than when you're like doing your 1, 2, 3 step, and then 3 mobs go running in the opposite direction, and you have to stop. Right? Like that
Yeah.
is like nails on a chalkboard kind of screech of like, oh, I hate that.
And then the butt pulls, you have to be ready for that, and it's just, I don't know, it's just a lot.
No, but I mean, like,
The
okay, so to your point, Lithian, right? I see the only problem out of this, which again is not if other people's can see it, I see that like hey, I'm a new tank, I'm trying to get into an 8 or a 10 or whatever, and I put my guy like I turn this on and I built it myself. What kind of flaming might I get? See when like the mage in the group says like, oh my god, you're pulling that shit, you're so stupid, blah blah blah.
That happens anyway.
I know, but what I'm saying is like it's only going to enable it more when there's not an add-on required to do it, Like that's the
I
only
Yeah,
don't
concern I
think
have.
so.
I think
I mean, I have that experience also. Somebody like posts the route like with the MDT, and someone will leave. They'll be like, "Oh, you're going left," and then they leave. I've seen that happen before.
Yeah.
Like,
No, but I mean
I don't. Yeah.
like even worse so, like let's say there is that one mob at the start of the dungeon that the tank didn't, get a new tank, didn't pull, and the mage is like, you idiot, look at it, it's on the map, because this will show you on the map like all your mobs.
Yeah, but
And again, they're
this
just
is not
flaming the tank.
this is not the feature that's in the game. This is the route that Blizzard decides is the starter route
Sure.
that you can't edit. So this
Sure.
is what
right.
you're talking about is
But
a potential
no,
feature.
but no, even now, like let's say it's the starter route, right? And it's not one you custom built. But the
Mhm.
mage, like a mage notices at the third boss, you do not have enough percent. There, and again, I can't remember if it's only the tank that sees it or not, but let's assume that they can for just the sake of the point. That like they're gonna sit there and start flaming. Why are you in a 10 if you don't know the route? Blah 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 blah. It's still a
Yeah.
possibility that will happen,
You can't avoid that. If people will say that in a 6.
Sure, but
Like
that's what people argue. No, I mean they're saying it in 2, right?
yeah.
But people would argue that's why, like, that's the gatekeeping that the mage is doing to stop the tank from wanting to continue that decision.
I guess so. I only see
It
this
just
as
like
being
highlights it now.
yeah. I get why they push this out because 2 to 5 is not being engaged with, and I think they're probably realizing that people are learning in 10s right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
And maybe that the 10 community is getting really toxic because people don't fucking know what to do, and they're like, let's just put a starter build in here for the tanks that end up in 10s because you can just, walk backwards through a 10 and kind of get to the end fine. So that they kind of know what's right, and if they don't want to do a bunch of research, they'll end up, it might not be optimal, but it's I was pitching it, this is the starter build of routes. It's like you have a starter build for your talents, you have a starter build for your dungeon routes. It's like not optimal, but it'll get you through. I
Well,
would like to
but
see what you're talking about, Frank, of like an editable one, you know, basically like a sub in for MDT, so you don't need that outside add-on MDT to communicate a route, or one that adjusts, like if you pull extra, then it can kind of like adjust and be like, oh, you should pull this because this
Like
is
a
better or something.
GPS.
Yeah, like a GPS
No, but
reroute, yeah,
Recalibrating.
it could be like a
recalculating.
GPS that's recalculating every single possibility of like
Yeah,
imagine
yeah,
if you have a GPS telling you how to get to the mall, but if it was like
yeah,
you have 70,000 routes that you could potentially take and it's trying to calculate them each time, you know?
Pull the
yes.
first 4
yeah, but
packs and
now
bloodlust.
now you're
You're
having the game
deviating
play
from the
for
route.
you.
I
Like
don't think so. I mean, I think
I
that would be representing like add-ons that already exist, like the ones that most
nah,
tanks use that show you the percentage of each mob, like when you click on it, when you hover over
I
it.
I
Like
have to
that's
pop
not in the
MDT
game.
up in the middle of a key to do that, and it's not
It's
like
worse than opening the map because it's like
it,
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's like right here,
But
and
they
it's
can
like
integrate if every tank is using MDT or a large percentage of tanks are using MDT, then that tells them they need to put that
It in the game.
information into the game in some form.
well,
And I think
Or
this
here
is
to
the
tell you,
beginning of
Scrap, they're
that.
not using it, but yeah, I get your point.
no,
Yeah.
but when I missed that bear in that one run, I didn't realize that it was worth more percent than like 2 of the reanimated warriors or whatever. So, it's like things like that, which you learn from experience and you learn over time, things that would be having an add-on do for us. I don't know if that's good or bad. I think it's challenging because if you put starter routes out there, the reality is most people aren't going to deviate from those routes as they go higher, and they're going to start
Yeah.
making it harder for other people because as you go higher, you have to start pulling more, which I'm sure I'm going to get yelled at later about, but you got to pull more aggressively. You got to pull
But
faster. You got to do different things in order to meet
how
the
many
timer.
how many times have you seen the opposite problem where people are trying to do MDI pulls in an 11 and then being upset when the healer can't keep up with a fucking 7 pull at the beginning? You know, like I feel like
Well,
it's more of a problem I
so
see than people pulling too
I
slow.
was I was on TikTok the other day and I saw a guy complaining on TikTok about that first pull in Windrunner Spires with where the tank pulls everything.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I saw that
Yeah,
Uh
too.
it's tough for
yeah.
healers, that
Yeah,
one.
and the
Oh,
guy
there it
was
is.
like
There it is.
the guy was like, I can't keep up. I can't keep up because it's too much damage, and
Mhm.
I don't know why tanks do this. And tanks do it because not in a 2, but tanks do it in higher keys because that's what you got to do to get the timer done, right? Like you
Yeah.
you have to pull all that, and you lust it. Like there's a reason for that. And
Yeah.
if the healers can't keep up, then they need to start looking at the.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I hate
it's
to say it,
Mhm.
but that guy definitely it's a bit of a skill issue there, unfortunately. It just if you're not able to heal that at whatever level he's playing at. I mean, if he's at like a 10 or whatever, I don't remember. He seemed like he was a more kind of casual player. But if he's having issue with that pull, then unfortunately that's one where he might need to maybe practice it in a lower level and come back and
it
try
could
it
be,
again.
but like with everything, it's a group effort, right? Like you could be healing your ass off and things aren't getting kicked or DPS isn't keeping up and the pull's going too long or the tank
Yeah.
is not using defensives, and so it's like you can't just look at it and say like, oh, his healing is probably bad unless you saw his logs and was like, oh,
Right, yeah. And
hell no. Like, but
and you are right, and that's the thing is like it's not necessarily the tank's fault for making a big pull like that. It's the pull that
yeah,
needs to
it's
be made
everybody.
to
Yeah.
time the key. But the thing is, DPS have to know, okay, this is a tough pull. Gotta watch my health. If I dip too low and I notice I have the debuff on me, I should use a health stone or something like
Defensives,
that.
yeah.
I would argue though that this is not a pull that has to be done, maybe at a 20 level or something, but like
Well,
if
you
you
don't want
go
to
into
waste
12,
lust, right?
no, but if you go into a 12, right, in order to pull this, the next pull after it, let's say on the left, right, you could pull 3 mob packs together as long as the woe, the witch or whatever is focused with the shield. You could pull 3 of those together, and it is half the difficulty of this pull pulled together, right?
True.
And
Yeah.
so, like, you could find other ways. Now, granted, to your point, Oski, communication between the tank and the healer, if we had talked about it and said, hey, this is like, because this pull caught me by surprise in a run that we did. If you remember Lythian, like, I was like, what the fuck's going on? And it's because the arcane salvo is just like randomly hitting people while other things are also randomly hitting
Yeah.
people. And so, like,
Because
it's
Scrap doesn't range
unpredictable by
kick.
nature, but it's also very quick and very punishing. Fine, that's cool. That's like, you know, the game is difficult, blah, blah, blah. But like at no point at the rest of the dungeon is any pull even close to that difficult, right?
You know,
Yeah,
the sad part is if I go into a pug and I split this pool,
They'll lose their
I'm
mind
gonna
too.
get
Yeah.
yeah, people are gonna lose their minds at
Damned if you
me
do, damned if you don't.
because yeah, so it's like it's a lose-lose.
It's communication. It's communication, right? Talk to your healer, talk to
It-
your group. What do you guys want to do? Cool. Everyone feels good. Let's go, you know?
yeah, I mean, there's expectations when you start pugging
No,
at
it's like
certain
think of
levels.
Necrotic Wake, right? Necrotic Wake had such a wide
Yeah.
open possibility of how you did the
Gosh.
first pull. And as Scrap pointed out, that's probably the last time where I've had tanks do this MDI nonsense and like quit the key immediately.
That's what was in my head when I was talking about
But
it.
it was also an example of where, as the tank tells you or shows you, like, here's what I'm doing on the first pull, everyone comes to an agreement saying, yep, if it fails, what would happen is people would go, yeah, good try, and then move on, right? Whereas, like, if I went in and they just randomly did this, I could be able to do the healing. It doesn't that's not the point. My point is, like, you caught me on my heels, and now I'm playing catch up, right? The
Mhm.
same thing with our MDI pull in Skyreach. We did the entire first set of pulls together, and it was like the first couple times I was on my heels and holy shit. And then once I made some adjustments and understood what was going on, it was manageable. But if Lythian did that without telling me, I would shoot him. I'd be like, what is wrong with you, right? But the fact that we communicated and we talked out and again, that's easier to do in a group that you know, work, play with and all that stuff. But in a pug, imagine in a pug, even if I was doing a 10, some guy did that, some Death Knight did that, right? I know I could heal that right now. I know it wouldn't be that difficult. But the fact that it would just be like, wait, what's going on? And me like panicking for a couple seconds, someone could die because I'm just not in position. And that's the problem. It's not a question of the difficulties. Or actually, I'd even argue it is a question of the difficulties, but it's the lopsidedness of it, right? This pull versus all the other pulls in the dungeon. It's more of just like, how do you communicate? That's what I would tell that healer. I'd be like, you got to make sure you question the tank and say, what are you doing? And if you feel adamant that I can't handle this, let them have an opportunity to say, okay, we'll split it. Or as Io said, you may not be good enough for this yet. That's fine, but we're going to find someone else who is. And that's okay.
yeah.
That's their right.
And a good thing too is if you see a poll like that, because the only reason I knew about that poll is because that's been something people's been doing since beta. And the first time I did it, it caught me off guard. Like Frank said, I'm like, Arcane Salvo, what the hell is this? It's blowing everybody up.
Yeah.
So if you notice like, hey, that seemed a little big, is that what we're supposed to do? And have the tank teach you like, yeah, that's a pretty standard pull actually. So then you know, okay, I got to figure that out then, because that if I'm going to be expected to heal that, I got to know what's going on.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
your
it
group
certainly
has
is
to
a
help
skill
you
issue,
too.
but at the same time, it's a skill of both. They probably weren't using their cooldowns, etc. Or it's a skill of you don't know what the mechanics of these mobs are doing, and because of that, you're not.
I will tell you a funny story about this pool. Every single time Haywire would do his cap totem in the bubble, every time, like clockwork.
He
I'm
stuns.
like, dude,
Here's that.
You know
Well,
why
that
he
is
does that?
Right
a
there.
pointed jab at Haywire, so you can ignore the past 5 seconds. He just wanted to take a shot at Haywire.
But I know why he probably
No,
does it is
but
because he's
he,
trying to keep them in his
he
other totem, his totemic
well,
totem.
no, he does it. No, he does it because it's helping the healer out, right? It gives the
Mm.
healer a little bit of breathing room. It's just the timing he does it every single time. I'm like, dude, why do you do it every time when that bubble comes out? It drives me mad.
One thing I do want to add, though, just to give some love to the healers, the way the keys scale, I know we've checked it out in a past episode. Like if you're doing 10s or 11s, you as a DPS might feel like this actually is pretty comfortable. I promise you, once you get to 12 and 13s, maybe not 12s, but 13s, especially 13s I've been doing, I've definitely noticed like a bit of a damage spike in there. That's definitely when I think a DPS will know, like, hey, I better start helping
No,
out.
they won't
So
know. They'll blame you though. That's the
yeah,
problem.
exactly.
At first, at least, right?
I want to just say from a healer perspective, like we did that 13 Pit of Sauron the other night, and like I was actually kind of sweating a little bit. I'm like, some of these pulls are tough, and it's not, and everyone was doing their part. It's
Well,
just it's the damage jumps, so it's like
yeah, I made a bad pull on the
But
second.
no,
Yeah,
but
but
beyond
I know
that,
what you're
like the
talking
most criminal thing about this season, in my opinion, is the ramp from +2 to +13 is misleading everyone into feeling comfortable. And it's not to
about.
say that, I mean, Io, like honestly, if you had some reps in on knowing what you would anticipate, you'd be fine. It's just that you were like doing 11s and 12s. This is easy. I'm gonna like kind of put some music on, listen to YouTube, and then you go into 13. You're like, oh shit, I gotta put that shit away and get to it.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
and again, part of it's the gear too, but like It's just that
Oh yeah,
it's been
that's it too. Yeah, for
criminally
sure.
misleading to people who are mostly pugging and who are arrogant to think that they know best, and so they don't understand. Hell, they still don't probably understand what half the mobs are doing, right?
They don't know the mechanics.
They're not interrupting the nether burst or whatever, and it's just like, oh shit,
If only
I'm
somebody
screwed.
made these Keystone videos that told people.
I will tell you,
Sorry, I'm
I will make more Keystone videos when Scrap actually starts watching them. So don't
I
start.
won't watch them. I
Yeah.
never watch
Yep, I
dungeon
know.
videos.
And
I
so
guess
It's not
they're
because
done.
of you.
They're done. They're over.
I'm not
Sad.
getting Keystone videos from anybody else.
I almost went nuclear. I don't remember exactly the example, but we were doing the MDI polls, and you had said something of like, "Wait, what does that thing do?" And I wanted to just jump down your throat and just to eviscerate.
I think I was going on about how like, oh my god, I had no idea that did that. I'm still learning all these new things. I didn't
It's
know
such
it
a-
all.
Learning at 16. It's
It's
fine.
such
At
a
16.
funny. It's such a funny contrast how Scrap, she'll always be the first person. She pugs
Fastest
a lot. She'll always
princess.
be the first person to 3KIO or whatever, but then
Yeah.
she just has the least idea what's going on.
I have an
It's scary.
innate like instinct of what's going on.
And
That doesn't
that's
mean
not
I
to
know
say
what's
She's
that
the
going on.
first to
You
3K
don't
because she
figure it
plays
out
until 6
eventually,
a.m.
but
Yeah, because
that
I don't
does
have
help,
to
yeah.
sleep.
She
Yeah.
is
She
playing in the
progs.
optimal time for North America, where
Well, I've
it's
hardly done
different.
any pugging at all, but like when I saw I was within spitting distance of 3K, I stayed up like another extra hour just to finish one dungeon, just so I could have it by the morning.
Let's move
Like
on.
I was like, whatever. Like I gotta have it again first.
I'm hoping they bring this route building tool one day. All right.
Yeah,
Other things with 12.05, I just want to call out. You get another decor if you watch people
Dude,
on
you
the
can have a
stream.
whole line of them. They're all
There's
different
now
colors.
5. I put them on my bed. This will be the 6th of them that'll be available, I think.
Oh.
And
Into it,
I
right?
only call this out too, again, twitch.tv/MDLFrank. I call this out too, though, because Mr. GM apparently found in data mining that there is another recolor of the tier 2 coming in
Wait,
trading post.
not the purple one?
Not the
no.
purple one.
A teal one?
They saw
They
the they
can't
saw
keep doing it.
they saw the podcast last week. They're like, we'll show her that
They
one
said,
at the
LOL.
below. That looks cool though. Is that what a hunter one below that
Yeah,
one? That looks kind
that
of cool.
that actually looks
There's
pretty
like
good.
some of them have multiple colors, but like okay, the Mage one looks like a decent recolor of the original recolor.
They can't
like-
keep getting away with it.
Oh, sorry, that's not Mage. That was Priest, right? Yeah, Priest.
Yeah,
but
there's
the
the
Mage
mage
one,
with
the
the
Mage one pretty good.
circles.
But like the monk one, like the ones that had the redos, because their classes didn't exist, like evokers and all this stuff. They're like okay, but that's not the point, right? The point is like
Not the point.
I had an example. I thought about this earlier, but it's like they're re-releasing the re-release of the re-release of the re-release. Like
This is the 5th or 6th one. Like
well, and again,
there's other tiers.
This
There's
is the
other
5th or
tiers,
6th
you
one of
guys.
this,
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's different. That's like one little thing. That's okay. These are, when they have tons and tons of tiers to pull from that they keep recoloring this one. I mean, I get it. It's a
Blood
lot
DKs
cheaper
will be
than
happy.
Yeah, that looks
yeah,
nice.
dude. But there's
I'm gonna-
already a red
I'm
one.
gonna go
One
back
of
to
them
my
is
blood
already
DK.
red. Like some of these are starting to look very samey to me. Like I can't even,
I feel like they're adding more depth and more. I don't know. It looks like they're adding more depth.
They
to
did
them.
these because these were supposed to be like the HD remakes. So like
Right.
they're
Yeah.
really squeezing every ounce of it.
they're
out of it.
squeezing the
but-
HD
But like,
remake.
guys,
They could
move
do-
on to the tier 5 sets or something. I don't
Right.
Yeah.
know.
They can do this with other tiers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We should all go on to Moonguard, the 4 of us in Haywire, and I'll make paladins and make little.
could be a
tier 2
rainbow.
Power
We'll be
Rangers.
Power Rangers,
I was
yeah.
thinking Power Rangers. Yeah.
You could. We could all 5 be a rainbow of fucking paladin.
Or
tiers.
imagine
What
multi-boxing.
color?
Who like
What
whoever
color
has their
ranger am I
5
gonna be?
multi-box group, and they're all like the 5 different colors of these paladins.
We'll figure out the level
Okay.
where it's just where Blackwing Lair is just difficult enough, but it's doable as 5 people, and we'll go take it down.
Yeah.
Insanity. Okay. We have 12.0.7 on the encrypted server for PTR, which means it'll probably be up here in a week or two, probably right after 12.05 goes live. We don't know exactly what is coming with it, but in that same stream I was talking about earlier where the raid encounter designers were talking to Max of Liquid, they let it be known that the boss in 12.0.7, the Sporefall boss, will have a Mythic flex difficulty for the first time ever. The way it'll work is that you'll be able to flex your group down to either 15 or up to 25. They say the intent of this is to try to encourage those who are not confident enough to dip their toes into Mythic once they get AOTC, like us, that this may be an opportunity for them to jump in. So my question to y'all is, are we going to become Mythic Raiders soon?
Yeah,
I've
dude.
already been thinking about it. Like people are saying the Herondar boss is so easy. Like
It's easier than
and
the
we're
Heroic Roar.
almost done with AOTC, so like we might as well to get some mythic gazes, right?
Yeah.
Like if we
I'll
can.
say
Yeah.
a big challenge, I think, for MDL in particular would be kind of keeping the attendance, either having too many or not having enough.
Yeah.
So this would almost be like, I know sometimes we have 30 people on a good week, if especially at the beginning of the season. So I mean, as our group kind of winded down, we could probably have a good number in that. So I think that's like 15 to 25 is a really good number for something like that. Yeah, for us to try.
This is
Wow.
great.
The only concern.
I love.
Go on, Lythian.
I just love one boss, like
Raise.
the single boss thing. Like,
Mhm.
it's quick, it's easy, and it gives you an opportunity to go in, kill the boss, and get out, and it doesn't take forever.
It's
Unless
probably
you
gonna
Yeah.
have the new best trinkets also, probably.
Well,
I
it's
hate
the
these.
0.7, so it's kind of
Yeah.
like the Delve Belt almost. I think Max
Yeah,
put it
yeah.
that way.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think this work. It's going to be fun to test it, and I'm glad they're taking a bit of a risk here and giving it a shot on a one boss raid. That if they think it didn't work out, they don't have to do it again.
Yeah,
I
they
don't know
hinted
if
that
it's
it's not going to
something.
be backbreaking hard.
I don't imagine this is something you could maybe do for a fuller raid, but if they're going to have future lockouts where they have like a Dream Rift, you can make your Void Spire and your March like regular mythic difficulty, then make like the Dream Rift mythic flex or whatever.
Well, this is what I was thinking, is like, this is kind of the Hall of Fame thing that they, how they opened it up that you could do cross faction after Hall of Fame or something. I can't remember exactly what it was, but like you could, or
Yeah.
like maybe cross realm.
Yeah, after
Um,
100 guilds.
Yeah,
did
after the
it,
Hall of
yeah.
Fame filled. Like this could be the thing where once Hall of Fame is filled up, they just like enable this, and they don't really care too much about the tuning. Like that's not their problem, right? It has to be just close enough, and they're like whatever.
That would be great.
Because like for the Race to World First, this is gonna be like they're gonna optimize it, they're gonna min max and say 18 is the way you have to go, and then 2 more people on their runs are cut out, and it's just like, do they retain the 25 raiders they need? Blah blah blah. But and the inverse of it, when they're doing reclears, right? Hell yeah, I'd like to have 5 more slots open to be able to take sales for, right?
Yeah.
And again, like for once because Hall of Fame is about to fill up for Void Spire, and it's already filled up for the Herondor
Dream
one.
Rift.
Yeah, Dream Rift. We'd be like, hell yeah, now I don't have to cut 6 or whatever people from our guild
Mhm.
to say like, yeah, let's go on in, and I'll just cut Stoop. Sorry, Stoop. I think this is going to be like they won't have it maybe for a season or 2, just because they're probably still figuring out that, and this is like a data test. But I could see in the Last Titan maybe this becoming a feature where after Hall of Fame, you'll see this.
I do think
They'll
that's
announce
a
their
good
BlizzCon.
idea. And that'd be cool. I do think that's a good idea, but I also wonder, if you have a guild that you've run with for a while, and they have, typically they'll have like rosters of 20 to 25 people to case people need to take a night off, or maybe they'll sometimes sit people if their spec isn't great on a fight. If you're running with 20 people for most of the season, and then like Hall of Fame ends, now it's like, okay, like you 5 can come and jump in. Like I don't know if that's gonna be weird for any kind of like guild politics or dynamics. That's the
Well, I
only.
think
It seems
Max,
better.
yeah, Max said that it was like actually good because the people who are on the bench who don't want to be, but they have to be, and they understand why. This will open up to say, okay, now we're like we've moved past that barrier. Come on in, the water's fine,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think needing 20 is a huge part of the barrier that's kept us out of it. Like the difficulty and commitment, yeah, but
Well,
like that you need 20. Like cuz like you said,
the class like buffs and all that stuff. Like needing to have
yeah.
2 DKs is what
Yeah.
usually would stop me from wanting
Yeah,
to do it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that rigidness does kind of gatekeep it a little bit. And I think where, there's guilds that have less people in it. I think there's probably more guilds that have like 10 to 15 people who are like really into it, and then people who sub in and out, like kind of like ours, I guess. It's just works better. Like, let's say you
Well-
start out with 20 and then somebody drops out because they can't play anymore, then does the Mythic raid fall apart? It's like, yeah, for a lot of guilds it probably does, but if it
Well,
was
the beauty of
flexible,
this
it would be
too
fine.
is that with the one boss raids, which maybe is something they'll only do this with one boss raids, is because the lockout isn't forced when you enter in like the third boss of a raid. And you know, effectively stops anyone from wanting to pug it because they risk not being able to find another pug later to do it if it fails. This would now also allow for more opportunity to start actually pugging and maybe finding a home like as a guild, right? Because you know, we have 23, we're like, well, let's just fill it up, why not? I need another heal anyways. And we open it up. This person's not going to feel discouraged like, oh, if I join and we fail, I'm locked out. Cool.
Yeah.
Now I'll go and do more pugging, you know, so that's nice too.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else on that? Lythian, you care? I don't
I
care.
always care. I care about everything all the
I thought
time.
you were gonna get him.
All right. It is time to talk about our MDI push. Okay.
Woo.
So, as of right now, here are the times for the top 24. 24 are the ones who qualified. Okay. So, if we wanted to be in 24th place, we'd have to do 2 16s for My Sarah Caverns and Skyreach as a collective 35-31. Now, there are 2 teams that are between us and this that have not qualified, so it'll say 53, but we are currently 54. We bumped. We're currently ranked 54, but there are 2 teams that did not qualify, so we're technically ranked 52nd.
Why didn't they
Can't
qualify?
believe
They
we're
cheated?
behind.
They didn't like look here. So, and granted, there could be where the Radar, because the Radar IO team has to like manually input all this shit. So I'm
Mhm.
sure that's hell. So maybe they will qualify because they just like as a logistics error. But they didn't build a team effectively through the Radar IO system. I don't know, whatever, not my problem. But I wanted to ask, like, this is actually the first MDI where we didn't commit ourselves wholly to it because we only did like 6
2 nights.
6 hours of like work on it, you know? Whereas,
Yeah.
you know, most teams will do 6 hours a day, if not more. But we did get both 16s done, which was, you know, kind of nice. We're at like at the point total that we wanted to. But we're at 50 minutes and 56 seconds. There is a 15-minute discrepancy between where we need to be able to qualify. I'll open up to you guys. How do you think it went?
I mean, I really like the process of it, like of trying to make on the fly. Like we with Skyreach, like we got a time on the board, right? And then we're like, okay, where can we save time? And then we like hammered ourselves into that first pull to try to make it work, you know? At one point, one of our last attempts, like we finally made that first pull work and we saved a ton of time, but we ended up wiping later in the dungeon and kind of calling it there.
Well, hold on, real quick. Can I add to that? We
Mhm.
also were realizing, as right before we made that wipe, that we weren't really that much further along than we needed to be able, because like, you know, it's like
Yeah, it didn't save us that
famously
much
this is only
time.
taking 10 minutes for most people to do, and we're
Yeah.
like, okay, well, we definitely have some room to like improve, but we
Yep.
improved by like only a minute maybe in that one pull, and
Yeah,
we
but
still
that
had a
adds
lot
up
of
if
work
we
to do.
could, you know, do a pull like that every time between the bosses, like a huge one.
Well,
But we didn't have as much time to practice it, right? Like we hammered into that pull over and over, but we didn't get a chance to hammer into the second pull over and over. We didn't get a chance to hammer into that pull at the end of the dungeon over and over, which I'm sure other teams had been doing
Musham
before
died.
MDI. What is it? Oh, Musham died.
We beat the second boss by the time most of the top runs were finishing the
yeah,
entire dungeon.
the
Yeah.
bosses were
The
taking too
bosses were
long.
slow. We didn't have a prio damage,
Yeah.
really. So
The bosses were taking a long time, and some of the packs, like some of those bigger pulls, if they last too long, I just run out. Like I run pretty dry, and I have no way to.
I really don't think, though. I mean, again, other than the first pull of that Skyreach, which I would argue is my responsibility, not yours. I don't ever feel like you were in true danger.
No,
You
there.
know, maybe
If
just like a
we would have,
sloppy, oop, I missed that, and then it's fine. We catch back up.
yeah, if we would have done this for longer and we would have put more planning into it, we would have been a little bit more aggressive with the pulls to see how far we can really push it. But I don't know. There was a point where on my Sarah, I was like, I just want to finish a 16, and we
yeah, because
kept
we didn't have
Because
one
we
on
were
the
trying
board.
to
We were
perfect it.
optimizing.
We were trying to do everything
right.
perfectly.
Yeah, and it was getting a little rough. And I don't mind. I like progging, but I feel like people were getting a little irritable.
Well, I know
Uh,
for me, Lythian is similar, but I love doing stuff like this, like picking at it, optimizing it, run it again, run it again, run it again. Like I really thrive in that environment, I think. I mean, obviously sometimes we were doing a pull and I was just like, it's not, this one ain't it for me. Like I just like fuck everything up over and over. But like I could see myself doing this every night for a week
Or
and have fun.
the time IO switched to Arcane, it was like doing like
It's a little bit
30K.
rude.
And then
Sorry.
he was like, oh, I don't have any talents.
Yeah, I forgot the talents. Yeah, I
Yeah.
tried to switch to Arcane to try to give us a little more prio damage, but I just hadn't played it in a minute, and like I just felt a lot of pressure, especially like just trying to. I don't know. I just kept fumbling it the opener, so I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go back to Frost. Just
No,
that's what I've been
Frost.
playing on.
Yeah, a
That's what
little
I've
bit
been
of
playing
pressure.
on.
worked out
So
well. No, you were doing great on Frost. It's just that pool was just fun.
It was just like comical because okay, so I'm gonna go in and put in here the video of where I died, but like it's comical because like everything was going perfectly fine for the whole night, but you just went into a fight and said, "Oh, I don't have any talents," which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
absurd, right? And then for me, like I was sitting there when we were doing my Sarah Caverns, and I was like kind of giving Lythian a little bit like,
A
Lythian,
talking.
you have to go faster, dude. Like I'm not at my point where I'm stressing, and that means we're moving too slow. And I effectively said, nothing's challenging me in healing. We're fine. Like, keep going. And then, you know, on the bridge where the balls will jump, I saw a ball coming at me, but I tried to run away and I like held my, like, some doodad was holding me up. Or what?
We can do with darkness when those
No,
go
no,
off. Frank.
you guys need to just stagger it. If you stagger it, I'll handle it. I'm telling you right now, I am not being challenged by this healing. We need to make bigger pulls.
Yeah, bigger pulls.
This right here is the only part that I'm more worried about. Just, oh shit, oh my god. Doodads!
The timing of that, dude.
Fucking doodads, man. I swear to God, I'm like running forward and I'm not moving. I'm like, why
I
the
don't have
fuck?
a kick. Can someone?
And it just killed me at the perfect time for you assholes to just hold that
Yeah.
over my head. And I just screamed, the fucking doodads, right? Because earlier in the dungeon, for those who don't know, if you go inside one of like the huts, there are these little tusks that will stick up.
Yeah, for
And
no
they
reason.
break line of sight, even though like I can see over it. Like it's still breaking my line of sight, you know? So like of course I crash out for a second on these doodads after I tell everyone this is fine, this is not challenging me, and I die. So it's like one of those comical moments I ask you. You went into a dungeon with no talents. Not a single
We
one.
had fun, you know?
I would say we had fun.
Yeah,
For
we
the
had
most
fun.
part.
I
It
think
was just oh, go ahead.
so when we were initially planning on this, you guys expected it to be another like push type, right? We weren't expecting that to be
I was
doing.
expecting we were gonna have to do the great push style.
And I think that kind of debated us because I know like you guys were doing the wheel for it, and I think that was something that, you know, was obviously a fun challenge, and you guys are, some of you, maybe not everyone, was enjoying their wheel classes, but you know, it was a cool challenge. Hey, let's do our wheel. Let's see how far we can push with it. And then they're just like, oh, by the way, it's a speed run, and that completely changes the game. A lot of the top runs they're doing Bear Druid, Mistweaver Monk, like not
or
necessarily
they're
the
pulling
best
things through walls with, you know, evokers or whatever.
Yeah, or evokers. Yeah, so it's like that completely changes the game. It completely changes the way you play. I think we were a little out of our element, so I think if we would have been more prepared for that, had given ourselves an opportunity to maybe have a designed a comp around that, and I think we definitely could have been better for sure. I just think we just found out a little too late, and that kind of hurt things.
Where do you think if we did the whole week, all 5 days of like really, you know, Lythian goes at the end of the day and says, okay, here's how I'm going to change the route for tomorrow, and like really pushes ourselves, where do you think time wise, right? So we're at 50 minutes and 58 seconds or whatever. Where do you think we would have finished with the time? How much more time could we shave off?
If we don't change our comp, or if we do change,
we stick to the comp. We stick to the
Yeah,
comp.
we stick to the comp.
Okay.
Because we're stubborn like that. We did the wheel on purpose to say,
yeah, I don't. I mean, aside from the tricks, right? I think
feel
that
like
the comp isn't holding us back that much.
So I would say where we could have saved some time just with our comp would be like
look,
situations
this is the
like
comp, right? They're doing it.
Like if Lythian if we had done the pull similar to the one Skyreach that Lythian posted, where him and Scrap both like imprison the first two mobs, and then we pull all the way to that platform, Lust kill the important mobs to bring the boss down, and then kill the rest of them while doing the boss. I think we would need to do stuff like we're just kind of doing two birds with one stone, no pun intended for Skyreach. I think if we could have done stuff like that, I think that's mostly where we were kind of losing time. I think we were just playing a little too conventional, and I just think we just weren't comfortable with trying to push it.
I think we could have saved 5 minutes on each dungeon with our comps.
Probably,
so
yeah.
dropped it to
Like,
like
because
40
we could have
minutes total.
squeezed more damage out of our classes. Like, we could have done bigger pulls. Like one thing I was saying repeatedly is that, like, if I'm not using like darkness on cooldown, we're not pulling enough.
Yeah.
If we're not doing a stun rotation, we're not pulling enough. Like, it's like we could pull more, we're just gonna have to put more into it. Like, we weren't hitting the wall, we weren't playing optimally yet. So I
We were
think that
running
we
them like we
easily
were
could
running
have.
them. Well, to start with,
Yeah,
at least,
on
what we
live,
timed.
yeah.
What we timed was we
Well,
were running them like they were running on live. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
and I agree. It's just there are times where like I'm super dry as a tank. I have nothing, and so I have the fear of dying, because if I die, we have to start over, right?
Yeah,
Um,
I get the pressure on you for sure. Like,
it's well, I mean, it's hard. Like all this stuff is hard. That's the whole reason why
but
people are doing
we
it.
as a group
But
can compensate for the moments that you're dry.
And we're not going
right?
to roll
Like,
our
it's
eyes
like,
when you're dying in a pool that is
Yeah.
like 7 packs pulled together.
but also if it becomes predictable where you're gonna dry
Like,
out and stuff. If we start
well,
nailing down the route enough, like,
look at the
and then we
first
can
pull of
compensate.
Skyreach, right? When we did the first pull of Skyreach, not a single death, which you were more often not the one that, not a single one did we blame on you. We knew the position you were in, right?
yeah, that was tough. It's tough. I do like that what I was talking about. They CC those first two and you run past. Like if we would have tried to do some gimmicky stuff, we could have saved a bunch of time.
Yeah.
Or if we
But we
tried
don't
to pull
need to change
stuff
the
up.
comp to do that.
No, but I'll tell you the evoker the evoker stuff that I saw was just wild. Like I
But
saw an
that team that
evoker.
Frank just pulled up didn't have an evoker. It was
I
his comp.
know, but I saw an evoker in Skyreach do double jump over during the second boss, double jump over and grab the birds and bring them back down into the
Yeah.
second boss. That's crazy.
Being able to do something to pull ads into the boss in Skyreach would be a huge time saver for us because we were taking
yeah.
so long on the bosses.
Because the bosses were just taking forever.
I knew I should have played Hog.
Well,
Yeah, you were the
well,
only
that's
one
another-
free of
that's
the
another-
wheel,
that's
so you could have
another,
played
yeah.
whatever.
No, I mean,
Although
but again,
Musham, I think it should be said that Musham on our Mysara caverns, he switched off his wheel character.
well, because he was frustrated, not because he was worried about.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, but I'm
He's
just saying
frustrated
that
with
like
all the moving.
we didn't. Yeah, like we didn't fully commit.
No, but
to
I mean,
the
like,
wheel.
okay, so like, if we're sitting in the 24th spot, 35 minutes 30 versus 24 minute 11, right? Like, that's the difference, I think. That the gimmicky having the Ogvoker, but as you said, Scrap, the Fizz comp didn't need it, right? And they're
Yeah.
they
don't need it.
They're not at risk of falling out.
They're well, like
they
6 minutes behind.
Yeah, 6 minutes.
Okay.
And they found other tech that helps them do the same thing if they have. We haven't seen their stream, right? But to your point, like if we were to shave off 10 minutes, we'd be within 5 spots, again, assuming that nothing changes in the next 12 hours, whatever.
12 hours.
We'd have enough 5 spots that we could sit there and say, like, we could do this if we really figure it out.
No, I think we could. It's just gonna take time, right? It's gonna take reps. Like we only got like for Skyreach, we only had like 2 completed 16 Skyreaches on the board. Like I'm sure that these teams at the top, they're getting like 10, 20 completed Skyreaches on the board, just shaving off time, optimizing. Like we optimized some things, like the beginning of Mysara, we had pretty tight and clean based on our strategy and stuff.
Mirrors.
Yeah, exactly. So like what it's gonna take from us is like more practice working as a team, which I think we're gonna do throughout the season, right? Like let's try to push up to 3,400. We get more used to working as a team. And then we just need to find the time. I know it's been impossible. Every MDI, it's always a thing. We only ever get 2 days or whatever. Like it's not our job. But like, yeah, and it's gonna be a lot of reps. But like we all held it together. We were all cool. We could handle just like, okay, run it back. Okay, run it back.
I was
okay,
not
someone
cool
died,
with you
run it back.
dying every other pull.
Okay, hold on, not me. Like
I wasn't cool
but
with you dying on the first boss of Skyreach all the time. But
Obviously,
I
we
did
won't.
not.
we won't know what the keys are for that particular day. But one thing we could also do too is if we know we're gonna do MDI and we kind of have an idea of what we would plan it, we could also kind of maybe put together some ideas of like, okay, we're gonna do it's the speed running this time again, so let's figure out like let's just make a plan for every dungeon just to get some reps early on, so then we can fine tune it later.
That's why I really want to tank next time. With no disrespect to Lythian, because I feel like that's where I excel, is the planning and the plotting out of what we need to X, Y, and Z. And it was really difficult for me to sit. I mean, I gave him some guff, as in the clip of me saying we can pull more, right? It was really difficult for me to sit there and say like, hey, Lythian, this is your show, because I wanted to put in the effort of, you know, looking at the routes and doing my homework and blah, 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 and then saying, cool, I am willing to die to figure out what pulls I can handle and what I can't, right? Whereas I feel like Lythian was constantly worried about that.
Yeah, and I mean, we have that. Sorry, Lythian. We have that MDI channel in the Discord too. We could have been talking more about strategy just throughout the day too.
Yeah.
That was all I was going to add. Go ahead, Lythian.
No, I mean, if you guys wanted to change the route, or if you wanted to do something different, I would listen and I would adjust.
You did.
Right?
Whenever we
I would say we did do that.
I mean, we did that constantly, right? I think it's a team thing. I don't care if I'm tanking or if I'm DPSing or whatever.
Well, I'm a control freak, so that's why I care, right?
I know you are, and I'm perfectly fine with that. But whatever we do, if we're gonna do something like this again, if we really want to make an effort, then we need to get good at whatever we're gonna be doing, right? Whether it be tanking, healing, whatever.
The wheel did not help us a lot, because I feel like if we were on our perfect, you know, what we're best at, like if I was on my mage and I was healing instead, right? He's a better healer than me, and I feel like I'm a better mage than he is, right? So like, why were we handicapping ourselves?
I guess
we were doing it because
I was just saying, I guess I win the wheel because I just like took to it like a fish in water, you know.
What are you talking about? I took to the wheel too.
You said I wouldn't be able to heal past 12, Scrap. Like, what the fuck?
I say a lot of things.
You died more than anyone in the entire night of Nights of MDI.
I don't think that's accurate. I pulled up the log.
I've got all of them. I've got
pull
every.
Pull them up.
I will hear. Let's pull all the failed attempts where we.
So I was about to say we gotta come up with like a minimum time that we're in, because if we count all of the deaths on the Skyreach opening, we're gonna be here all night.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm talking
about... yeah, that's it. Skyreach got to be thrown out because there was a lot of rezzing and then dying.
All these ones that are 2.8, 2.8, 10. That's you.
Yeah.
Because you pulled aggro.
Risk. You'd say risk versus reward.
These ones are Musham. Those Musham did these ones.
Yeah, Musham did a fair share of dying also.
But
Frank, I remember you doing a couple deaths also.
Yeah, but we didn't stop the run because I died. I died because I got hit by a ball. That was like the only time I died.
I died one Skyreach. Yeah, the Mysara Caverns that we had on the board, that was like the first time I died 3 times on that run, and that's the first one we put on the board. And I was like, God fucking damn it. But on the one that we put our final time, I didn't die at all.
Well, yeah,
I might have actually died in that.
That's why we didn't.
And I died in it.
We didn't stop. That's why.
Yeah,
we just kept going.
Like
if I'm gonna DPS though, I'm
the problem if you DPS, you gotta deal with me.
No, if I'm gonna DPS, I'm gonna have to find a DPS that I'm really good at.
Well, and also that's another reason why I want to tank, is because we talk and Scrap. I want to give you applause because you and I think someone commented in the YouTube video last week. You actually started trying to do the macro, the marker macro, right? You didn't get it across the finish line, but you were like at least saying I've got moves.
Nobody else was doing it.
I know. But that's why another reason why I want to play tank is because I will mark and say, hey, this is yours, this is yours, this is yours. You know.
I did.
You can still do that.
Set focus.
Not when I'm
I
healing.
just didn't put a marker. I just didn't put a marker on my focus.
No, in a lot of these keys, the way they've designed it is that you can smooth through a pack if one kick is being handled. Right.
Yeah.
And it is ridiculous to say that with 4 of us with kicks, that somehow that one kick is still not being handled. So like having one person at least calling a kick, you know, to make sure it's getting done helps.
You know, the biggest benefit of our comp is all of you have range kicks.
And they didn't use them.
The biggest downfall was nobody used their range kicks. And I'm like,
to bring packs in.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if I had a kick as a healer, I would have run over and got it for you, because that was driving me crazy too. I get it. They're
what?
wanting the blast. I get it, right? Like I'll take care of it if I can, but I couldn't.
There are a couple times when, like, for example, if I'm channeling Frozen, right? Like, I really can't stop channeling Frozen,
I'm
right?
not
It's
stopping.
Yeah, we get it.
That's why
Scrap's
I
doing
like to.
I-beam.
No, but that's why I like to mark my kick, because it's
Well,
like I'm gonna kick
hold on.
this one.
Can
It's
we-
gonna get kicked before it casts.
Can we
Be
talk just for a
patient, I'm gonna
second,
finish
Scrap,
my
about how
channel
you didn't know
first.
you got fury from interrupting?
No, I knew that. It's just not like it would be
not
very
worth
hard
it.
to
Not worth
optimize
it.
it.
MDI teams
You
are saying,
know?
no, I want to interrupt this because it extends my my void form or
Extremely
whatever.
min-maxy and stuff, but like it's like a very piss amount. Like if I'm really like up against the Demon Hunter's gonna come and correct me.
Piss
So it's
amount.
really important. But like if I'm really trying to get that last collapsing star out, like it's draining so fast that 30 Fury isn't gonna like. It would be very niche. Yes, you're
In
right.
the comments,
but
if you know how much time it adds, like it adds 1.3 seconds or whatever, tell
no,
us,
it
please.
changes. It's variable because
Sure,
the
but I wanna
speed that
know.
it drains goes up the longer it's up. So there's no
Does
way
it have a
to
cap though? Does
calculate
it have like a cap where it like only hits up this limit?
I don't know exactly, but there is a point where it's draining faster than you can possibly gain it, and you
Sure.
can't like you will lose meta.
Yeah, but you
Like-
you,
There
you
were,
missed 17,000 interrupts, so like you weren't always at that point.
Right.
There
But a
were
lot of the times it's like I'm not in, it would be really useful like probably getting up to meta so I can I-beam faster. Like if I get an early kick in the pack, like, but I often do that.
There were sometimes like our second pull in my Sarah or second lust pull in my Sarah after the first boss where like there's like 4 or 5 casters in that pack as Lythian's gathering, and me and Haywire and Scrap might kick 1 or 2, and then I'll see a bunch going off, but the thing is they cast again pretty quickly not too long after, and if mine's
4
still on
seconds.
cooldown. I don't What'd you say?
4 seconds. When you
Yeah,
as
so, like,
a mage interrupt him, you give him a 4-second counterspell.
Yeah,
Okay.
so like I think there's some situations where like that's just another complementation where like if you have an evoker you can just like wing flap them over or something, or I do think
You
there
have
are
a
sometimes
DK.
when
In fairness,
Yeah,
though, in fairness,
for true.
I ask you, how many times did you see Ring of Peace go out though?
Ooh, huge.
I don't know.
I
I
don't
didn't
remember.
even see it at all.
I don't remember
yeah.
a single
No.
one. Here, let's look at,
I
let's
use
look at
it.
the
I
logs.
use it several. I
Let's
use
go
it
to
several
mode for the
times.
results.
Yeah, how many
But-
ring of peace?
But a ring of peace is not going to knock the mob completely into
He
the
didn't even
pack.
use it.
Not a single
That
time.
whole
run.
Not a single
Can we-
time.
Not
Like
a
a
single
passive
time.
counterspell.
Dude, so that's one thing that I could see as an easy improvement is that these packs were like Lythian stressing that he's dying and Frank stressing to
Oh, he did
heal
one.
the
He did-
group or
he did
whatever.
one here, or a couple here.
We could be doing a stun rotation. Like these people at the top, they do a stun rotation. You're like, yes, that's easier with an evoker who gets their stuns back every fucking like 15, 20 seconds
yeah.
or whatever. But like we weren't doing it.
We're not trying to
anyway,
win.
so-
I want to get my foot in the door.
I get it,
That's
but
all I want.
that's the easiest improvement we could make probably
But
is
I
the
want to give
stun
her
rotation.
$1,000 from Blizzard. That's what we want.
Yeah.
We were
And get
doing
wrecked on
this.
stage.
I've got
we were doing
$240
this
on the
to have
Toxie
fun.
jar. I need some money back.
Yeah, you're putting
Yeah, you're not
that into
getting that money
jerseys.
back. But we were doing it to have fun. We were playing our wheel
We had a lot
characters,
of
and we
fun.
didn't, whatever.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun, and it was nice because
And wheel aside, we could have made a really good run at it.
we could
Yeah.
have. I agree, but I think it's so that we can play together, and the more we play together, the better we get together. So I think it's fine.
But I want to say I don't
Okay.
think the wheel held us back. I think we did well
A
at
bit.
what
It
we
did.
were
A bit. We have to
doing.
acknowledge
No,
Okay,
it.
well,
but
you feel
if
that way, but I don't.
if Frank was playing as Mage, I feel like the competition between him and Scrap would
Would
have made
bump
Scrap-
Scrap
up.
a ton, yeah.
would have made Scrap a little more thoughtful about the risks she was taking.
At the very
and
least.
Haywire, well, yeah, and I don't know. We just got to figure out what the comp's going to be next time, and we could take a run at it next
We
year.
actually, and I said this to Scrap. I don't know if I said it to y'all. I want to do one more run even after the time trials are over with me on my Mage to see what I would have done. Because
Yeah.
if it like, let's say we do it and I'm like 10% ahead of her or whatever, it would have been like a glaring, oh shit. What if Scrap had saw that she was kind of like, I'm going to say taking it easy. I know
worse?
you weren't. No, but I'm saying like, what would she have come to light knowing like, oh shit, I need to actually step it up. He's beating me because
I do
that's
try
how
to
competitive we are.
optimize. Yeah, when I'm in danger of losing the lead,
Yeah,
right? Then all of a sudden I'm like, oh fuck, how can I squeeze out that little bit of extra damage?
Which, you know, could have been a difference maker of another minute or whatever.
Sure. But I mean, we're saying like, okay, if we could squeeze out a tiny bit more damage. I mean, we were doing damage like on these things.
No,
Like
we didn't have single target on the bosses.
we didn't have
and
single
that
target.
was
That's true.
really-
But like
that
that's
was
a
really
matter of
rough.
I
couple
really
minutes
wish we could see
here.
these runs, but I know they hide them. Like, I want to see
We-
how long they took on each boss.
Yeah, but we could see Lythian posted the one of the 11-minute Sky Reach, like, and that was actually really eye opening.
It was
to
a
see.
13 one. It was a 13
Right.
minute one.
Oh, whatever. But like
We'll see.
that we could actually see. Oh, they're saving a lot of time by doing this together, or doing that together, or optimizing this. You know.
They had a lot of funnel damage, and so when they pulled stuff onto the boss, there was it was good
boss would
funnel.
start melting.
It was great. But I don't know. I had fun. I enjoyed it.
Quick question, and we got to move on because we're about to hit the 2-hour marker. What if this was the great push style? Do you guys feel like we would have fared differently?
So I was thinking about this, and it's like eventually, if we're pushing a key up, we are going to come to a point where we have to make these optimizations to time the key.
Yeah.
So I think we might have had more fun with it because it would have been more tangible. Like it's like, oh, we got stopped at like a 21 or something.
And the style we were using would have been more.
Yeah, it feels more tangible than, oh, we shaved 2 minutes off. But I think we would have probably placed the same, roundabout. Yeah. Like we're gonna get to this point where we have to optimize and work together more. Like that requires more reps and more time working together. It would probably put us about the same spot.
Yeah. Okay. Anyone else?
I don't necessarily agree because I think the reason why more people, I think more people maybe do these ones because since it's a different kind of game, I don't think you're necessarily getting as many people that are doing that same kind of style with the pushing. I don't know all the teams that try to qualify for MDI, but I think that we probably would have actually done pretty well because I mean the 16s, like a timing a key, you can make some mistakes, and I think the only reason we weren't finishing keys a lot of times was just because we started over. But I mean, we could have easily have finished a 16 in that anytime we wanted and timed it. And I think we could have, and I think just with the way things were going and the pace, I think we could have done that a few more times. So I think we definitely could have gotten to like the higher part of it. I don't know if we would have been in qualifying range still, but I definitely think we had a better chance at placing higher with that format than with this one in particular.
But I mean, the way I see it is that if we can make mistakes and get more done, then there's going to be teams that aren't making mistakes. Those are all the people ahead of us, who are going to also get more done.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, maybe next season we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right. Well, again, it was a lot of fun. We are going to introduce a new segment this week, and we're going to see how it goes based on how you guys respond. But I always love a good podcast where they'll read out the comments at the end, and like, for example, Todd's show, he'll like say, give me one good comment, one bad comment, right? So what we're going to try to do is, as you guys have been awesome community members who continue to comment and like and subscribe like we always ask you to, we actually, by the way, just hit 2,400 subscriptions. We're continuing to
Holy
climb.
moly.
We're making good progress, right? We'll be 3K by the, BlizzCon.
Yeah, we're gonna Keystone Hero by the end of the.
And then we have another million to go before we ever get invited to a Blizzard event, but whatever.
Yeah.
We appreciate it nonetheless. But it is always fun to see what you guys comment at the end of the week or when we look at the comments whenever we do. And so we figured we kind of highlight some and read them out to you guys. You might have good questions that we want to answer. Or you might just be calling us out and saying Frank's an idiot and gives me a chance to sit there and cry for a second. So continue to give us those comments. And of course, if you want one to be read out, make sure it's funny and or insightful that we can have a conversation off of it. So let's jump into it. I highlighted a few. So this is the first one. Oh, you can't see it on screen. I'm sorry. I'm not even going to put them on screen, at least this week. The first one. Every time I tune in, Frank is so rude to Scrap. How is that just a consistent thing? Can I tell y'all the reason why I want to do this? I'm going to talk to you guys at home, okay? I'm talking to the camera here.
You're breaking the fourth wall.
I'm breaking the fourth wall. Here's why. I know that maybe there's a skewed view on why I talk to Scrap the way I do on this podcast. But if you have watched the Twitch streams, or if you've just been in a community, you know that her and this asshole right here are the biggest trolls and just destroy my psyche every single day. Lythian alone this week has told me I'm a bad healer at least in the hundreds, like in the hundreds, right?
Not. I
And
would
Scrap
never.
Claw will move the goalposts every time she makes an argument for why she is better at X, Y, or Z. Will make
I'm competitive.
I build a spreadsheet that takes me hours to make sure that she understands how. I'm not going to call you stupid there, but that would be me bullying you.
You're gonna get a comment for sure if you call me stupid.
But it's because she says stupid shit. All right. So I get it. I might come off as rude, but I promise you, it is well earned. She can go fuck herself.
Like we're all friends. We talk to each other a certain way. Like you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're
Scrap,
equally
I
mean
wanted
to
to get
each
on my
other, it's
soapbox
fine.
there.
Scrap has days where she is equally my favorite and least favorite
Yes,
person I've ever
I
interacted
have
with.
It is
I have
such a good
unique
way to
ability
frame that.
that.
Oh, and again, her and Lythian know exactly what to do to get under my skin. And it is, I will, again, I built the Toxie jar to say, like, I'm not going to fall for it. And then I'll have to put $40 in at the end of the night because they just exactly what they needed to say to
Frank,
make me flip
your
out.
problem is that you come into the Discord, you say, these are my buttons, do not press them. If you press these buttons, I will light up and make noise and be really irritating. And then Lythian and I are like, these buttons, the ones that you told us exactly where they are, you know, like you make it so obvious.
I should say who said that. So that was R Hampy 40507. All right, next
Shout out
comment
our Hampy.
from Discarded Ham. Watching Lythian talk about Liquid's reaction to the surprise face and saying, "Oh my gosh, these guys are such nerds." Jesus, the nerdiness. Which by the way, he said earlier today in this episode, is kind of hilarious. Like the dude just spent the whole weekend being a stereotypical bro, watching basketball and drinking, only to hop back on a podcast to talk about WoW. The lack of self-awareness is honestly the funniest
That is such a fucking funny comment. The way they scared at it.
Lythian, your response.
Hold on a second. I never said I wasn't a nerd. I was just saying those guys were really nerdy. No, I think it's fine. I have no problem
Yeah, I don't
with no. I have self-awareness. I know what I am. I have no problem with you know, I have no problem with calling other people nerdy, even though I'm probably just as nerdy as they are. So no, I appreciate the comment.
Oh, you're not gonna read that whole long comment.
I'm not going to read the whole thing.
Yeah, no,
so
I just
this
see
is
a
gonna be
long one. I'm like, oh,
so
it's gonna be good.
Shu the Mighty had I'll read the start and you'll understand why he left a large comment. I enjoyed this podcast till you started simping over add-ons. And I'm too lazy to make my own podcast, so I'll rant here. Haha, your narrative is so distorted and misinformed. You clearly have not tried to use Meek Auras or this week Auras. We haven't. Meek Auras or any other fork is nothing like weak Auras and has less functionality than most CMD add-ons. Cooldown management, I assume? No, I don't know what that means. It's listing a whole bunch of- yeah. All right, so I'm going to skip ahead. No one likes fighting to keep shit like raid packs. Class designs like Fury required weak Auras to play. I don't know if that's still the case. He then tells us about his computer and its specs. I'm not sure why. But anyways, what pisses me off is the problem they explicitly said they wanted to tackle by pruning add-ons have not been affected at all. Like required raid packs weren't even remotely addressed at all. It's all been moved to add-ons like Northern Sky and proprietary add-ons that Liquid and Echo have access to, which is completely destroying Blizzard's competitive advanced arguments. Weak Aura was the equalizer, not the problem. The add-on Apocalypse has only served to hurt bystanders and reduce players' overall quality of life. Anyway, great podcast. Thanks for all the work. I often disagree with your takes.
I mean, I agree with those final takes. I don't know where he got the add-on simping thing because, like,
I
both
don't
you
agree
and
with
I,
it.
Frank,
We've already talked about it in this raid that
add-ons.
we don't think we need them.
No, but I don't think I think I agree that if you're watching the Race to World first and you see that they're using add-ons that like Blizzard wasn't successful.
But that's the equivalent of saying I'm watching the NBA and I'm seeing they're wearing Air Jordans, so I have to have Air Jordans.
Yeah, but then it's not like the NBA said, no more Air Jordans, and then this happens.
No, but they do say no more. They have said no more. Like you can't wear. This is not a performance thing, but you can't wear like white shoes or whatever, right? Or black shoes, whatever they say.
I don't know. I don't watch the NBA.
No, but the point is they do say that.
Go.
Comment is coming from just kind of skimming through it. I think it was. I think we were talking about how we don't have weak auras, and it's convenient to have weak auras because you can make kind of whatever you need. And Frank's often said, well, how is that any different than someone just making it into an add-on? And that's the difference, right? Is the difficulty in doing it. So I think I think this was just kind of a long-winded way of trying to say that specifically, like how this stuff is still required, but now it's more difficult to come across as opposed to before when you could kind of that every man could do it, you know. So I think that's kind of where it was coming from
No,
a bit.
yeah, and I totally agree with that. That I don't think that Blizzard has been successful in setting out what they wanted to do. Because like I don't remember exactly what they were forthcoming with of why they were doing their add-on black box implementation stuff. But I thought that the main intention was that they could balance like their raid fights without add-ons that break and cheat it, like the Among Us one and stuff like that. And then the first like very public implementation of an add-on was to sidestep the difficulty of a raid fight. So it does seem like it got worse for a lot of people for kind of no reason. Now I'm seeing the big picture reason of that, like we're moving towards putting more information into the game, which I think is positive and less reliance on outside add-ons to play the game. I was seeing the positive and feeling hopeful about it, but I can understand that sentiment of like, hey, they said they were doing this for raid fight adjustment, and then there's still add-ons that
Yeah, but like,
break
don't you think that by
difficulty.
playing the game, if you played it the way, like you don't go and chase these add-ons that you don't need, which is my argument, like,
Mhm.
don't you feel like that they are in a way stepping towards that? Now, granted, we've always
I
said
do
it, like
feel,
the race to
yeah,
world first
I
is
feel that
always going to
way.
be degenerate, right? Like they go,
Mhm.
if they don't build it in game, they will build an app next to the game, right? Like, so there's no way to stop that arms race. So stop
Yeah,
trying to, right?
yeah, but then it's like, why implement a strict black box for people who don't have the resources that like Liquid has to build
I
add-ons?
Because
I
the
think
argument is you don't need them.
they
Yeah,
tried. They just didn't have enough time to implement everything they would have
Or
liked
they
to.
didn't know what they were going to be up
but
against.
they allowed
Yeah,
Liquid to use
exactly.
it, so they,
Yeah,
you
because their
know.
argument was, as far as I know, their argument was that it was like a text base, like they were just repeating what you put in text, right? Which is
So yeah,
still allowed.
and like we talked about earlier, you know, Frank said, you know, Max said it wasn't computational, but Frank said it might actually be. It is a computational add-on. The only difference is the way it's implemented is a way you could look at in a vacuum and say, well, it's technically something you could do if you wanted to, but no one wants to
Mhm.
No,
do it. Why would you want to type something in chat in the middle of a raid fight? You know,
Yeah,
like,
that's
no,
super
like no, but
true.
like this is the computational side of what weakers could do in the case of Laura. A weaker is you would hit the button and then it would put the world markers down for you. It doesn't move your character into
dude,
the position you need to actually get into, right? It's you still
week
had to do
week
that part.
No, like a week or a raid pack, you wouldn't have to hit any button. It would just
It would just
show you.
know
It
what
would
you
just
have.
pop up on your
Well, the old
screen
ones,
and
yeah, yeah.
and
Before
and
private ores.
assign. Like basically, all it would do is it. Let's say you had like the Northern Sky or the Liquid Week or a pack for the raid. It would probably just pop up on your screen an X to show you you're going to go to X for
Mhm.
this, and that would be it. Like
Yeah,
because that's usually how those would work.
yeah, yeah. All right. Last comment. Again, I want to just give this as a shout out to Scrap. Ecots says auto marker was so bad, Scrap needs to lift her macro game. So Scrap,
Well,
are you
she
gonna?
has been, so fuck
What?
you.
Well,
Sorry,
no,
what
she
was
hasn't
bad
macroed it.
about the auto marker? Like,
It was too random.
what?
It would mark things you don't need marked. It was inconsistent with, like, let's say Scrap, you always get the hex, right? Your
Yeah.
auto marker wouldn't know that, and it would just like give you a star one
I
day
don't
and then
need to
blue square
always get
next.
the hex. I always get the moon, and then it
Yeah, but the
whatever it
moon
marks as
is the
moon,
melee guy
I
that's
get.
not doing anything, and now you're
Well,
you're
cool.
not
Then I
kicking
don't have to
anything.
do it this time.
Yeah.
Somebody else will get the other.
Ecots, you proved your point. Thank you.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
Lythian, it is your I don't care segment of the week. What do you care about this week?
what do I care about? I care about everything, man. You know,
Hey guys, he just wants you to get along. That's all.
You
we
added
spent
in like an intro for this,
I'm going to
or
make
not
one. I
yet?
haven't
no.
yet, but I'm going to make
There's
one.
Okay.
no. This isn't an actual segment,
It
but
is an actual
listen.
segment. I'm keeping it every week, and if you say the same thing every week,
No, that's
then
fine. That's
the
fine.
audience is going to get
I'm not
what they
gonna
paid
say.
for.
I'm not gonna say the same thing every week. What I will say is, I've spent a lot of time over the past couple of days playing with you guys, doing the MDI stuff, and we could have really got toxic at each other.
We could have.
And I feel like we're growing as a group, and we're learning how to better communicate with each other in a way. I know I was kind of new, but in a way that isn't going to set us off into a weird place and we all hate each other. So I will just say that when you find your group, when you find your people, you should really figure out how to cultivate that, right? And I'm trying to be positive, even to scrap, which is really hard for me because it hurts.
Yeah.
But you know, we've been playing together for years, and we've been trolling Frank for years together,
Years off
and
my life.
you know,
I'm gonna die at the age
it's
of
it's
54.
it's been great. Our community is doing really well. We get AOTC every season with the ragtag bunch of people that raid with us, and we have a good time doing it. And you know, we put in extra effort to help communicate or cultivate the community, and you know, I think it's good. I think it's all positive, and I am very appreciative of that, and I do care about that. I think it's great.
Wow,
All
Lythian,
right,
that was
So
really
I
gay.
was just
yeah, yeah, I do what I can. I do what I
Yep.
can. Thanks a lot, IO.
Lythian, I appreciate you saying that. I have a follow-up question.
I do too.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
did you feel I did as healing on the MDI?
Huh?
Ooh.
I thought you did fine.
Yeah, I think you did
You
great.
know, I'll be
That's
honest.
a high
I'm
compliment.
clipping
No, no,
that.
no,
I'm clipping
Yeah.
no, no,
that.
no. I will say there were times where I thought for sure I was gonna die. I didn't have a pot. Like my pot was down, everything was down, and somehow I made it through. Um, and and I feel like I probably could have pushed harder the more comfortable I got with the healing if we would have had more reps and we had more time, right? But no, I thought it was fine. I saw some mistakes people made and the recoveries we made, and I thought it was I, I thought it was unnecessary because some of those mistakes shouldn't have been made, but whatever. You recovered and it was all good. So I thought it was good. It's good
Husky, what was
stuff.
your follow-up question?
Oh, I didn't have a follow-up question. I just said I thought you did great. That's all.
Oh, well, thank you.
Oh, I thought you were gonna
I
say you
I
did
thought I
bad.
thought everyone did great.
Oh,
And
no,
again,
no,
like
yeah.
obviously I can nitpick because I am that kind of person, but I think I was very pleased with how we if at our first full attempt at it, right?
Yeah.
And with the limited time, it went well. Ioski was very quiet the whole time. I'm worried what he was saying to himself as off mute, but
Oh no, I'm naturally just kind of the person who just kind of fits in where I need to, and I feel like
you're the
the
ditto of the group.
anything kind of, yeah. I just like I feel like you guys are kind of the more like you guys are gonna be the ones who kind of have the energy that you
The
need things to go the way you need them to. Whereas I, especially as Frost Mage, like I don't need to worry too much about stuff. Like I can wait for Lythian to, gather stuff for scrap so she can consume and then go into a pack, and then I can start late and still do like okay damage so that I'm fine with that. It doesn't he can move all he wants. I got Blizzard baby. Let's go. Like I don't care. Like, so
Yeah.
if I had been healing, maybe I could have would have had a bit more input to try to help like implement a plan. But as far as like how I was playing, just as long as as long as I knew we were lusting, like I didn't feel like I had to contribute too much.
I ask you, don't
Yeah.
go look at the logs. You'll see how many times I fumbled my bop/lay on hands. I'd accidentally use one over
Oh,
the other.
I've been doing
Like
that
when I
a
hit
lot
Lythian with the
lately.
bop that one time.
Yeah,
Dude,
that's funny.
I never realized that's what happens when it happens.
I knew it was a
And I'm
problem.
like,
I didn't see it. I just like hit the button and I thought I got lay on hands on you. And then all of a sudden
And
I
then
see
I
three
died.
guys. No, I saw three guys running at me. And I'm like, uh-oh, what did I do?
Yep. Oh, I'm in trouble.
All right. Scott, did you have anything you wanted to add to that? Or you good?
Yeah, no, I thought it was a great experience. I was really impressed with everybody's stamina. Like, I know Lithian's got the stamina because we've done some really fucking long keys, but like that we were able to do a couple hours of hard like shit and be cool.
And
That's true.
I like the same like monotonous stuff too. Like I think we did that Mycera poll like probably almost an hour to 2 hours over and over again, just trying to get it right. And then
Dude,
we
we did
even
that
were like,
Skyreach poll like for half an hour at least
yeah.
back to back to back to back.
But that
So
was
I mean,
fun.
that's not
Like the chaos of it was
not
oh,
easy
fun.
to
I had
do.
fun with it.
Yeah.
All right. Any last thoughts? I'll start this week. Give you guys some time because usually you're put on the spot and you're not ready. I wanted to let you, Lythian, and you, Scrapclaw, know that apparently at CinemaCon, which is like the convention for cinema owners, they showed off the Social Reckoning, the sequel to Social Network
Ooh.
Oh my
trailer,
god.
and I
What?
can't wait. All
Of
right.
course you fucking can't.
We
What the fuck?
have The Devil Wears Prada 2 coming out not this week but next week. I can't
Yeah.
wait.
Holy moly.
The year of 2026, the greatest movie year ever, continues. Even though Super Mario Galaxy sucked.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how was Super Mario?
No, but you know, I have a feeling this is going to be a good bounce back, and we'll get back on track. So
We'll
that's my
see.
thoughts of the week. Social Reckoning, I can't wait. And actually, the Endgame trailers apparently was there too, so that'll be interesting.
Social Reckoning is such a fucking psychotic name for
It is.
like,
It is
like
the
such a
exact
bland
name I'd
movie.
expect Aaron Sorkin to name it.
Yeah.
Okay. Who wants to go next? Or if you have nothing. Okay.
I was been doing some Shattered Halls runs in Classic with my buddy to help him get his gloves. And one really cool idea I had, if anyone out there plays D&D and is a DM, you know, sometimes in older dungeons in like TVC and Classic, there will sometimes be stealth mobs that will come out and it'll be like a rogue and it'll like zap whoever gets too close to it and then start attacking. I think if you're designing a dungeon or want a cool encounter inside like a fortress people are storming, you should have some stealth assassins that will come out and try to attack people if they get too close. That's my tip of the week. Last word.
All right,
cool
Leo.
DM,
Leo's the only DM I know. Leo, if you're watching, there you go. He's gonna hit me
The
with
last-
you do that shit.
The last Pathfinder campaign I did, there was like a boss encounter that was the concept, and we literally had a full group wipe on it because of the random chance of it coming out of a wall. Like, and it's like in that module is like infamous for being a total fucking bullshit encounter that like you can't prepare for because of the randomness of it. So I don't agree with that. That's
Scrap
fucking annoying.
Scrap is such a campaign killer that she also broke. What was it? Divinity Original Sin 2.
Divinity Original Sin 2.
I broke the absolute shit out of it.
I was like turning it upside down to find where could we go. She killed everyone. All right. Anyways,
when I RP, I RP. You tell me this is the D&D game, I'm like, okay, I'm playing D&D. Like,
you played Mass
she's
Murderer.
playing her
You played
game.
Mass Murderer.
Yeah, I
That's
play
right.
my games. I had
It's her game,
values.
not
I
your
held
game.
to them.
Honestly, if it were a real campaign, I would have killed you. Like I was like, stop, and I'd kill you. For real. All right, Scrap. Last words.
I don't have any. I'm good.
Okay, Lithian.
You don't have any?
I'm
Man.
gonna make a rule where if you don't have any, you get penalized with something.
Yeah,
How are you gonna penalize me?
Throw
$10
money
out of the
into
toxic
jar.
throw money into
Money
the
out of the
toxic
jar,
jar.
Wait, no, I can think of something to say. I'll think of something to say.
All right, Lithian.
No, I think you know, if you have an opportunity to go out and do something with people, I think you should take it. Like I went and saw Joe Coy over the weekend. I didn't really want to go. I dreaded it, but I had a good time. It was a good show. He put on what felt like the longest set ever.
Dude, John Mulaney's set
but
so long.
it
was so funny,
he
but
just
so
kept
long.
Going.
I encourage you to
He
go see
kept
it, but it was
going.
such a long. It was like I had to piss. I had one beer and I had to piss so bad. I was like, oh, it's gonna end soon. I'm not. And I was like about to pass out. I was like, I have to go. And I came back and there was still 45 minutes of show.
Oh my god.
A couple years ago, I went with my sister to go see Bill Burr in Cleveland, and like it was a really well-timed show to the point where like where you wanted more, and then that's when he was like wrapping up, and you're like, that's what you want, right?
Yeah,
You don't want it to overstay its welcome, so it does kind of, especially in that kind of environment, like, you know, you want it to feel that way, so it sucks that sometimes they go a little longer.
Let's just say, doesn't like sitting on this podcast and drinking water 2 hours, like, doesn't that build your stamina? Like, you
You'd
can
think.
sit through
I don't know what it
show.
was. I don't know what it was.
Yep.
My friend got me a Mick
Yeah.
Ultra, one of those like aluminum cans. I just like, all right. And I was like sipping
It
it.
goes
Wasn't
right
even-
through you.
It went right through me, and I was
Yep.
again in such despair. It was. I did not want
I've
to miss a
been-
minute of it, and
Yeah. I've been struggling to make it through movies lately. Like, you go to the movie
well,
theater, you
I
get that
always do
big
because
soda.
Yeah.
No, I was
Is
always
that-
good. Now I can't make it.
No,
Is that
so
quiet exposition? Here I go.
no,
Yeah.
no, it's to the point now.
Scrap's final words.
No, it's the point now because I take my kids, like I took them to see Mario. Like I have to have a plan because I'm not going to leave my kids in the theater while I have to go pee. So I like,
Gather
I go,
all
like,
three
I
of
go,
them.
I've stopped drinking 4 hours before. I go to the bathroom
Yeah.
right when we get there. I make sure that yes, I have my big soda, but I'm not going to go heavy on it until the very end. Like I have a
Yeah.
plan.
The problem is that
Oh,
you get that big
goodness.
ass popcorn and you're
Oh, yeah.
talking and
Still-
you're
no,
eating
it's-
it and you're
it's-
chowing down, and then you're halfway
Oh
through
my
your
God.
soda as the credits are coming up, like as it's starting, and you're like, fuck, I
That's
fucked
true.
up.
That's true. That's true.
Yep.
All right.
Lythian is right though. If you're someone like, you know, we tend to be where you're inside a lot. If you do get the opportunity to do plans, you might not want to do it, but you should do it, and you'll be happy you did.
Yeah.
Go touch grass. Weather's getting warm and beautiful.
On that note, That's episode 81, everyone. Again, continue to like, subscribe, and comment. We will try to continue the
Please.
comment segment where we read your funniest and or most insightful comments. So please continue to do those things. And we will be back next week. But until then, have a great week on your keys. Hopefully get 8 OTC like we do, hopefully. And we'll see you then. Take care.
Booyah.
Wishful thinking.